Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary pals. This is another edition of Super Metroid's Link to the Past combo randomizer. I keep almost saying zero mission, but that's not quite right. Anyways, this is gonna be a really hype matchup between jooniejoone and bressinghamvoigt. They're really solid players, and I'm really excited. How about you? With me is Semper Fire Dog.
Hi, I'm super excited too. Hoping that finally get a break from the curse that I bring to every seed that I walk into. So hopefully, let's get these guys a good seed where it's nice, quick, easy, and fun.
I think it's gonna be a quick one. I don't know about nice, easy. Fun is a little subjective, I think. But yeah, these are some good players, so we're gonna see a good show either way.
Fun for the runners is totally different than fun for the chat. Chat loves it when the game
Mm-hmm.
is the most horrible, trolly stuff they could possibly find, and the runners are like, "Please, just let me get done. Like, let me get a
Mm-hmm.
PB here." That's all they want.
And it looks like they are off. You see, we'll get them synced in a minute. But
Chances are they're both going to go straight to Link to the Past, but occasionally you see a gamble. Go
mhm.
down to Morph Ball Ped. Today mine was my mirror. So, I missed out on that for like an hour. But you never know.
Yeah. Well, luckily, mirror is something you can't really take advantage of until later on in the seed, so it's not that big a deal. And we see Junie doesn't even check the Hylia Island quite yet. He gets Variasuit in his house. That's real nice. And on the island is just an E-tank, so he won't be missing that.
It's definitely a nice thing to start with.
It's an interesting play to not check the island because it is like right there when you step into a Link to the Past. On the other hand, it is like right next to your path when you're doing your flippers checks, so he might be opting to check that later on. Is probably about even.
And the chances of it being something useful, or, I mean, even knowing that it's there is kind of just, is it really useful right now?
Maybe. Just a heart container in the race game. Gonna take a moment to sync up the runners. They are on a 10-minute delay, so just to ensure there's no
No cheating.
no opportunity for that. They're
We
not
got the,
putting
the
much at risk.
bacon coin from the uncle, so that's kind of nice to have. And I think that was a piece of
Delicious.
heart on the library ledge.
Looked like it. And I saw the tier 3 tree pole was just arrows as well. So it's not gonna have much use out of that. Now, jooniejoone did take the southern route to get to Kakariko, so he farmed the 50-50 bushes and managed to get 2, and manages to get the lamp right away in Kakariko. Pretty nice right off the bat.
Well, no dark rooms for that, for this seed, that's for sure.
He is getting a little concerningly short on bombs, though. 50
Well,
rupees, we might see him buy bombs right now.
I mean,
Maybe.
either that or you go to the little hut and farm them. Either way, he's gonna go, looks like he's gonna go to the, holy cow.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
What just
This is
happened?
basically free farming. So Bressingham Voigt did a trick to kind of offset the camera a few pixels by jumping into the water. For some reason, that shifts the camera just like 1 pixel at a time, and where you end up when you fall into a hole is dependent on where the camera is at the time. And for some reason, it just gets confused and sends you right into the debug room, which just contains 225 rupees.
I was more saying we got unsynced.
Oh, interesting. Whoops.
June took a 10-second speed warp, and I was like, whoa, what happened?
Meanwhile, we'll be further unsyncing. Oh, no, it was just a hiccup. Yeah, hiccups will tend to happen on the internet. So
Yeah,
we
the
see
internet, the internet's fickle.
mhm. Voight is also going the southern route to get some bombs, and he's got one bomb in hand. We'll see if he's most likely, I think, gonna just buy bombs with the houlihan roam he did earlier.
Well, we got a
And
flute in the well. It's
that's
a
handy.
great place to get your flute because you just walk out and activate it immediately.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna wanna wait a little bit just to make sure he has money for the bottle vendor. He's another 30 rupees right down in the back of this hut.
And that opens up Business Center in Norfair and Speck Rock Cave. And the old man, because we do have the lamp. So there's a wave beam too, so that's also very nice to have. Plus some supers, some regular missiles, and the cape. Lamp, cape. All we need is a sword. We got Aga. Oh my god. There's the sword!
Okay. That is an option right now, but we have a lot of better options right off the bat. For one thing, we have we have one check in Norfair, I guess. Not really much beyond that. Instant rebate on the bottle vendor. That's pretty nice. Don't have to mail it in or anything. Just an immediate $20 return. And of course, get your 07s in chat for our Hyrulean national anthem.
The duck is a muck. The goose is loose. All hail the magic quail. You really didn't get anything out of benefiting that, buying that 20 rupees back. I'm sorry for that.
Peace of mind, at least. I'm a little surprised you didn't go check Lost Woods, but it's 2 items that are just free for the taking, but this is pretty fast as well.
Especially with flute.
Mm-hmm. I like to play with wishful thinking and put off the dam until I get Mirror and Dark World access, and it almost never pans out. So this is something players go to right away. 2 free items.
Yeah, that's extraordinarily hopeful to have to wait that long to get into the dam.
It is, yes. I also have I'm pretty stingy with my money. I never buy bombs. I don't like to farm, so I just end up checking a bunch of just Swiss cheesing a bunch of sphere 1 checks and just hoping to find bombs and money. And usually it's fine. Most of the time it's fine. In my
generally, yeah, it'll work out that way.
And we're seeing this this seed is it's not money starved, but in Super Metroid Link to the Past crossover in general, you have a higher chance of money being in Metroid. I mean, because otherwise it wouldn't be at all, because in normal Link to the Past standalone randomizer, there is no Super Metroid. We see is that a tier 1 tree pull with $20? That's pretty nice.
I honestly don't know how to check what tier it was, so I'm sure we can go with 0 or 1.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it was in Kakariko, so there wasn't that much opportunity to farm kills. So the tree pulls have 3 tiers of prizes. For some reason in Combo Randomizer, you start out with tier 3. I think if you take damage on your way to a tree pull, you get downgraded to tier 2. But tier 1 is when you kill 1 enemy. Tier is when you kill 4 enemies and take damage. And tier 3 is when you kill 4 enemies without taking damage.
Glad to have finally learned that. I just killed stuff until I pulled something different.
Yeah, basically, it's only really significant in the beginning, and we see more bombs on Jooniejone's side, I think that must have been tier 2, because I think tier 3 was arrows and tier 1 was rupees. And he
I
had
don't know
done
if he
minimal
killed
bomb
anything
cave.
after saving and quitting, though.
Well, it persists through saving and quitting. I'm not entirely sure if it persists through a hard reset or not. Either way, he hasn't hard reset, so it just retained the tree pole state. So basically, anytime after Sphere 1, you're probably going to have Tier 2 armed. But by that point, you probably already have money and bombs.
Yeah, and usually once you get past the beginning of the game, you basically don't need to buy bombs ever again.
Mm-hmm.
We got Bressingham going to rescue the old man. Going to give us a convenient save and quit point at the mountain, right, which happens to be right near a portal to a Super Metroid.
Yeah, on the one hand, it's not really necessary because they have the flute, but on the other hand, it is the fastest location to exit when you save and quit. So it does make fluting just that much faster every time you do it.
And in SpeedGaming, we got to go fast.
Yeah. And it's also a full health refill if you choose. There's 3 hearts going up the mountains. Pretty scary, for sure. That's right. He has the Vario suit, so Norfair isn't too scary. Not really any way to fly, no morph ball, so he is only gonna be able to look at one item and get another.
Whoa! Speaking of
Ooh,
being able
okay.
to fly,
Well, that opens up several more checks.
there's the best item in the game right there.
It's very handy. Also with Wave Beam, that makes the Wave Beam item in Bubble Mountain area in Logic, I believe. Since you can get over to it and then come back through the gate without Morph Ball.
Yes. It also allows us to check the item before Bubble Mountain Reserve. And the Speed Booster item.
It's like 6 items over in the Bubble Mountain area total without Morph Ball. It's pretty crazy.
Ooh, there's a nice rod in the cathedral.
Nice. We'll see if jooniejoone goes for it. I mean, well, probably not because it takes. I mean, the lava drains your health pretty fast. I don't. It might be possible, but obviously,
And our first
they
bottle
didn't go
in
for it.
Bubble Mountain.
It's cool. They'll be able to check Sick Kid whenever they get a chance. Be pretty.
Seeing that
convenient
early
with
ice rod there makes me worried that Total Rock's going to be a pendant.
Most likely. Yeah. Power bombs are nice to have eventually once you actually get Morph Ball. Some good sinkage going on.
I could have sworn I was watching 2 different streams for a second.
So I've been informed in the chat that Wave Beam always requires the Morph Ball to access because you could accidentally fall into the crumble block on normal logic. It's good to know. But I'm sure they're going to check it anyway because who needs logic when you have, like, everything? Who needs logic when you're good at the game?
For runners of this caliber, logic is merely a suggestion.
Yeah, it is useful to know the logic so that you can determine where items can and can't be later on. Early on, it's not that big a deal because you'll probably find your logical access to these areas pretty shortly. But if you don't, then you know where not to look.
Oh, the Moon Pearl! Sitting right before the wave beam location. Oh my.
Yeah, right before that morph ball requirement. So that is in logic right now. That is fully accessible, and just a bottle in the other, in the actual wave gate or wave beam location.
So
No
we are
logical
merely a
implications.
glove and a hammer away from Dark World. Or two
Mhm.
gloves. Or Aga. It could happen.
Or an obscure case is morph ball, gravity suit, and flippers.
Also true. Seen that before.
It's pretty crazy. The combo randomizer, it's a lot of things you just wouldn't consider with the location totals being where they are.
To answer a question in chat, I don't remember if Lumberjack was checked or not.
I have no idea. I don't think it was.
I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, Junie did check it. Okay. And back to the mountain.
Joonie's got to be careful. One sky cabbage will end his journey.
Mm-hmm.
But he managed
We'll
to.
delay it a little bit. Luckily, they both have the saving quit to the old man's house, the mountain cave, as it's called in game. Morph ball on the mountain, on Spectacle Rock.
So we need a mirror.
Yep.
It's taunting us. It's like, ha! I'm right here, but you can't get me.
The mirror could potentially be on the morph ball pedestal.
I've seen it there.
$20 on Sick Kid. Not too exciting.
I'm not going to bet
but
on Sick Kid.
a little bit closer to Zora money. Zora is actually not in logic yet. I'm kind of surprised by that. Usually we have a glove by this point.
We lack glove or flippers would work as well, but yes, we
Mhm.
don't have the ability to get up there logically. We could get up there with fake flippering, but not logical.
Mm-hmm. So with the sword and the lamp in hand, Junie's gonna opt to go clear out Hyrule Castle. So he has an interesting decision he could make. The I guess another tier 3 chief hole. The back of escape could potentially require a glove, depending on whether or not we find a small key.
We've already found the map, so we know we're looking for items. There's probably going to be one in Dark Cross.
It was a map in Sanctuary? Okay.
I think so. And there was nothing in Saha's closet. It was just a bunch of convenience items like a heart piece and some missiles.
So the option Junie has is he could, since he had just fairly recently save and quit, he could actually opt to just find out what's in Zelda's cell, and if there's nothing there, he could just reset and not save his progress. Finds hammer in the first chest. Oh, he is just stealing the key right away. Very interesting. So the small key actually cannot be further down in the escape. It cannot be in the vanilla boomerang chest or the Zelda cell. Because you could just take the key and bring it on back to the back of escape instead. So it will have to be either in that first chest that he opened, which was hammer instead, or it could be here in Dark Cross, or it could be glove locked underneath Sanctuary.
So far, I haven't seen anything useful out of Eastern Palace, but we do get the big key, so that does let us check the next chest and be able to see everything pre-Armos.
Now, jooniejoone has taken some damage. I don't think it's... that's not a bad play, actually, because he can die right after finishing his checks in the secret room in the back of Escape. And then he'll be right back at the front of the castle again.
It's a very interesting routing. I have not seen this this path taken before. This is very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's very creative. Path very much less traveled.
And one not really worth taking.
And it doesn't appear so this time. Gonna talk to some rats, see if he could get a quick warp out of here. These are the exit rats, the exit mice of the game.
And we got another heart container from the big chest in, or not the big key chest in Eastern. So not a whole lot going on there.
Bressingham considering going to castle and just opts out of it. Interesting decision. He wants to buy a potion right away. I wonder why that is.
I am also curious as to why he's buying a potion right now.
I usually see players holding off on spending money on potions until after they clear out Zora.
Zora is a very large paycheck or pay sink.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is an elimination group. And I don't know if this is the elimination match. I'm pretty sure it probably is. So you're going to see gambles that you probably won't see elsewhere.
So let's see just what is in Zelda's cell. This is logically locked by glove because of where the key was, and it looks like it's just nothing anyway. The castle just not... well, giving us the hammer. That's totally in logic. So that was the way to go, it looks like. But everything else was a bust.
Yes, it was. The hammer is extremely useful, not very useful right now. Oh, and look, here we go. Here comes an Agaplay from jooniejoone. Very interesting to go straight there.
Wow. Yes,
These
this is
gold
very
guards
interesting.
have a ridiculous amount of health.
He's opting to come here instead of going to Eastern right away. I don't think he's done Agana either.
Also have Retro Bryn.
Yeah.
What's even more amusing is we have not seen a map check from either of our runners yet, so we have no idea where our pendant crystals lie. It's a
Is
good
this-
call. I think it's a unique call. It's going to be a good gamble. I mean, and if it turns out to be the necessary way to get into the Dark World, he's already ahead. But if it's not that huge of a time loss.
Yeah, he is kind of reading the logic. He did get lamp, cape, and sword very early in, so this kind of makes sense. It will also open up the pod area. Well, it'll open up all of, well, Southern Dark World with a hammer as well.
Yep, that's a hype cave. That's, I mean, you can get to a lot of places with just those items.
Most players want to put this off because the Aga Tower does take many minutes to complete. I want to say like 6 minutes on the higher level.
I would say it's probably about as long as a standard escape sequence, yeah. And it's far more lethal.
Yeah. As we can see. Ooh. Oh. Okay. I'm sure it'll be fine.
These guards are no joke.
Yeah, I think they take 5 fighter sword slashes or a
The
combination
red ones
of
take
slashes
4.
and spins. Oof. It's a very costly death. It's very unfortunate. Not quite getting the angle right on the... Not getting the lucky angle on the guard.
He's deciding to say, never mind.
Okay. That hurts. That really hurts. I would rather make the wrong decision quickly than to hesitate and make the right decision.
And Nagina holding nothing but a heart container for us.
You don't need magic. Okay, he's going for the blue potion.
It's probably
So we
going to
can use the cape.
reclimb.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Yeah, including 4.
I like that plan, buying a safety just in case. And it looks like Bressingham's headed the same way, so it's going to be a race up the tower.
And he already has a blue potion as well, so they're pretty even right now.
And to be fair, the seat is basically saying, go, do Aga. Also, somewhere along the line, Bressingham got himself an extra heart, so that's going to help a little bit.
So I took a look at the group matches, and it looks like both of these players got knocked out by got beaten by Dante.
Oh, Dante.
So this is an elimination match. Winner moves on and the loser goes home.
I mean, aren't they already home?
Yeah, it's a real quick trip.
And both of them knowing that it's make or break it time today, they're going to be doing the craziest of crazies, the coolest of cools. So that'll be very interesting to see what gambles they make.
Mm-hmm. I think both of their strong suit is in Super Metroid. So we'll see them clearing that out much more quickly.
I definitely know Joonie Joone from the Super Metroid group or Discord. I don't even know what to say it. Community. That's the word I was looking for. Community.
Yeah.
I just had a brain fart because I'm an old man.
And shortly before this, we saw Bressingham just playing some Super Metroid Arcade to pass the time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Words are very hard, especially when you're trying to do commentary and trying to think of things while watching something happen and listening to know when you can queue up when your kid's not screeching like a velociraptor in the next room.
Mm-hmm. I can't say I can relate, but I'll take your word for it.
It's not fun.
So Aghanim is a random fight wherein after the first shot, each other shot is a 50-50 chance whether you can actually reflect them or if they just split off into 6 pieces. And then after 4 rounds, he'll do this little lightning bolt, and then it'll just reset. I'm guaranteed to hit here. And it is completely random, but it is seeded, so both players are going to get the same luck, regardless of
yes.
Well, they're just gonna.
It used to
get the
be.
same fight.
They used to be. They would. They were different, but now it's good to see that they have finally changed it to where they're the same. That's assuming that they don't make any mistakes. The perfect fight is a maximum of 15 blue balls. And I did not see very many from Bressingham, so I'm guessing 2 or 3 would be the most.
Yeah, it's about average. It's not so bad. So with Moon Pearl in hand,
Here's
he's
our
gonna be
map
able to explore
check.
quite a bit.
We've got red pendant at Thieves Town, blue pendant at Swamp, and then a red crystal was in either Turtle Rock or Pod. I didn't catch which.
It was Pod. It was Crystal 6. So there's gonna be another pendant and red crystal, a green pendant and red crystal in Light World as well. That's good info.
Very interesting. So I think the first time I've seen a Dark World map check before I've seen a Light World map check.
Yeah. We did see Bressingham in Eastern earlier. We didn't have the audio for him, but you can tell whether they're pendants or crystals based on which music is playing.
Yes, the pendant dungeons are more horn-based, whereas the crystal dungeons are more string-based. I mean, it's all synthetic 16-bit music, but you know what I'm saying. We're getting our first look at Not So Hype Cave, and so far, it's pretty hype. Master Sword in a mirror.
There we go. Yeah, Cave 73 is living up to its name today.
That's a morph ball, so that opens up some doors.
Some tunnel doors.
Looks like he's going to head over and check Stumpy and Cave 45 before he heads up there.
And yeah, jooniejoone is farming some money in order to make his way over to Pod. A little unfortunate he's not going for Southern Dark World instead. Also, he does have the option to dive into the river and just get respawned a bunch of times to get into the Houlihan room. But he's not opting for that.
It's very strange why he hasn't done that. Bressingham's going to go play the arrow game, which we don't normally see.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting as well. This will get him plenty of money. He'll probably farm all the way up to, I don't know, 600.
Probably around there. It's very easy to do if you stand right next to the purveyor of the store and shoot as the duck or whatever that thing is, squid. Is that a
Yeah.
squid? Whenever it hits the second line between the second and third, or the line between the second and third curtain, you fire then. You're always going to get that 64, or hit all five is what I should say.
Well, I shoot when it goes middle of the second curtain because there is a bit up for the there's a startup animation for the bow, so it shoots on kind of a delay.
The digging game is the best
wow.
digging game ever. One dig for a bottle.
Okay, it looked like he only farmed up to like 380-ish, which is fine. He still doesn't have access, so
Ice
no big deal.
or ice beam or ice rod. I don't know where ice beam was. I don't remember where we picked that up from. But ice rod is in the Coliseum. Ice beam was in the big chest at Bressinghamn Palace. Okay, that's good to know.
Right.
That makes touring a lot easier when we get there. Also, getting that mirror access gives us the ability to do the entirety of Tower of Hera. We have lamp to access the basement, and we can clear it out completely. So, if it's a crystal, chances are they're going to do it right now.
And Bressingham slashing some bushes. Those 4 cardinal direction bushes have a, I want to say it's a 1 in 4 chance of dropping a fairy.
It's a pretty good percentage chance. I don't
Maybe
know
one.
the exact math behind it.
They can drop either hearts or fairies or nothing. So just slashing some bushes, trying to fill up his health.
The
I'm
first
sure it'll be fine
item
with
we
5 hearts.
see in Hera is 3 bombs,
Okay.
and the big key is Firelock. So it's good to know that we have all the tools necessary to be able to get down there. Bressingham taking his coffee break for the Link to the Past version 1 anyway.
Yeah, conveniently, when you hit a switch and you're standing on the pegs, when the switch switches over, you're just invincible until you step off. It just constantly gives you iframes.
I would say it's a good time to get up, stretch your legs. Oh, we got the green pendant's vanilla, with red
Okay.
crystal at Desert and a blue crystal at Hera. So Hera is required.
So normally in vanilla, all the crystals are blue, but the randomizer recolored them because just to make them easier to distinguish the 5 and 6 crystals, because it's actually the 5 and 6 crystals that give you access to the super bomb in the bomb shop in the Dark World to allow you access to the Pyramid Fairy. So that might come into play. With Desert and Pod being red crystal, we might see that somewhat early.
Depending on if we find a book or not soon. We also still
True.
need a glove. Now, if we get both gloves, that gives us access to Desert as well, because then we can flute to Mire and then mirror to Desert.
Mm-hmm. Or just the gravity suit so they could go down to Lower Norfair. That's also an option. With Space Jump and Varia Suit, they have full access to the portal to get into Mire from Super Metroid.
That's taking the long way around.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sometimes
but it's pretty common.
necessary, though.
Yeah.
3 whacks to the tail and Troll Dorm goes down for our first boss kill of the game, giving us a map.
One of the first times I saw Super Metroid A Link to the Past combo randomizer, the I believe both the ocarina and the glove were in the mire area.
Oof. That's just mean. With the hammer, we do have access to East Death Mountain, which gives us 8 more checks. 1 in Spiral Cave, and 7 more in Paradox. And we see that there is a nope tank on the floating island, so we're probably going to say no to that. And at the end of Resident Sleeper Cave, we have $20.
All right, a little bit closer to Zora money. Still no logical access to it, though. I just can't wait to get scammed.
And there's our second Troll Dorm kill. 0 falls to the Troll Dorm today. That's impressive.
Nice. Yeah.
Doesn't
even
matter how good of a
top
runner
players.
you are, Troll Dorm has his way of nudging you off the edge.
There is kind of a pattern to a Moldorm. As random as it appears, he'll do a certain number of wiggles, and then he'll beeline straight towards you, so you can somewhat manipulate him to an extent. But he's also huge and somewhat fast, so it's real easy to walk right into him and just bounce into a hole. And hookshot on East
Yes,
Death Mountain.
and the book. Ooh, what a Paradox Cave. There's a second, third, 3 E-tanks, hookshot, and a book in Paradox.
Dang.
That's some serious firepower. Well, I guess more like health power, but firepower too, because now you can open up Desert, you can check the tablets, because you can read them, and you can get the item because you have your Master Sword. We can get both tablets because we have access to both areas.
And energy tanks are also sometimes referred to as Shine Spark Fuel. So it is, in a way, firepower.
That's fair, and it also, you know, in this, not in this case, but sometimes it gives you the incentive to do a hell run. Not that it's in logic in normal, but some runners still decide to do that.
Luckily, these players do have various loot already. It's one of the first items they got, even. Which makes sense, because... what was over there? Moon Pearl? Yeah, Moon Pearl. In Bubble Mountain.
And here comes our Ether tablet check. What does the Storm tablet have for us today? Pizza.
Nice. So with Morphall, Bressing is probably going down into Norfair right now. Well, just checking...
He's probably going to the Dark World to make it somewhat safer.
He's going into Spike Cave, which is real unfortunate, because he has the cape and he has the hammer to get through all the way to the rock, which he cannot lift because he doesn't have glove.
Yep. He will surely find out that he cannot
Test
pick
your
up
might.
Yeah, uh-oh. Oops.
Bit of a waste of a potion, unfortunately. Luckily, he did grind some money at the archery game, so he can afford another one. Going straight
And off
into
we go into
the ship.
Metroid, yep.
So with a saving quit, and then using LR start and select to soft reset, he goes straight into Super Metroid. The game will always start you off in Super Metroid if you reset the game.
Mainly because it allows you to customize your controls for Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nifty little feature, adding that start select L and R command. That's very useful and a lot faster than hard resetting it.
I wonder if they'll ever make it so that it'll remember whether you were in A Link to the Past or Super Metroid previously.
That would be interesting. Although sometimes I'm glad there's the it's the really random buttons that you don't normally hit while playing the game, because it would be really unfortunate if you did it without wanting to.
It would be
Yeah.
a rare circumstance in which you would want to press both start, select, and both angle buttons. Yeah. I can foresee, like, hitting maybe 3 of them at once.
Yeah, like if you're messing around, you're tapping L and R, and you go to pause it, you're not thinking. But select is not useful in Super Metroid anyway.
It's, I mean, depending on your controls, you can set it to be, well, usually I have it set to be item cancel. So, like, when I'm toggling through items and I just want to quickly go back to beam, I just hit select.
Yes.
I've actually used select as my run button before when I was using a GameCube controller, which is gross and should never be done. But on a GameCube controller, it does make sense because it's just a shoulder button. You just hold.
That does make sense. I can't argue with that. Now we're going to see Bressingham do the early supers check by getting a mock ball under these bridges. These items back here are out of logic. You were supposed to have super speed booster to be able to get here. And it's all ammo.
In a way, I feel like checking items is often just as good as being able to get items, because then you won't need to come back later for these.
Yes, indeed. Now, I say it's out of logic, but I mean, mock ball is apparently such an easy trick that anybody can do it, except for me, apparently. So, I mean, everybody seems to do that, but for that room anyway.
It's a little tough to wrap your hands around. Like, it's somewhat simple to explain. Basically, you want to be holding jump while you're flying through the air. Then you press down, and then right before you hit the ground, you press down again. And yep, you have to be holding jump so that it doesn't kill your speed when you press down. And you have to be in the middle of the morphing animation when you hit the ground. So I want to say it's like a 5-frame window or something. It's in theory, it's lenient. In practice, it's you kind of get psyched out.
And five frames is not exactly a lot of time.
That's kind of a lot of time.
I mean, it's like 5/60ths of a second.
Yeah.
Whatever that kind of second that is, I have no idea. I mean, I'm just pulling math out of my butt here.
Although it also depends on your input delay as well. If you're playing on a PC, you will have a slight input delay. If you're playing like with a fancy monitor with like all these visual effects, you might have even more delay.
There's our
Zoro
flippers. Nice. And that's the Mission Impossible room?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the one. There is a trick to be able to jump out of that crumble block before it reforms. It's a really tight window.
You're talking about Swamp Palace already? Ugh, so early! I actually don't mind Swamp Palace. It's Ice Palace that I can't stand.
Not so bad anymore with Kane.
True, if you know how to do the icebreaker, which looks pretty easy, but I haven't dabbled in it yet.
It takes a few minutes to figure out for like when you're like watching a tutorial and trying to do it. But once you do it, it's just like What? Okay, this just works. It's magic.
Gotta love magic. Just like putting these two games together. That's kind of magic too. Bressingham remembering that he has the wave beam, so he's not trying to do the wave gate glitch here, which is kind of a common thing, especially this early in the game.
Yeah.
For another heart container, which is nice.
Not
I think
bad at
we're
this
up to
point.
like 9 or 10.
Oh, that's a lot more than they went up the mountain with.
That
They
is
had-
definitely true.
Yeah, Voight had 3 going up the mountain. Junie had 4.
To comment on something Chad has said, true, they have been given every item necessary to clear a swamp palace out this early in the game. And it is a pendant, so chances are there's something buried in there, because that's what randos do. And I think we just got like 600 rupees from Retro or from Brinstar here, so I don't think we're going to be starving for cash anymore.
Yeah, and now we actually have logic with the flippers for Zora access.
Junie will farm up a couple supers here before he obviously before he leaves. He can't get out otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a lot more common than power bombs for sure. It kind of sucks to come down here and realize, oh, I just used my last power bomb, and then have to farm for like half an hour to get one power bomb to escape.
Yeah, this area is not very nice with power bombs because you're not supposed to have them yet. There's a fire rod in the Retro Bryn ceiling.
Sure is. That's a nice find.
What? That's both rods already, and both rods accessible.
Yeah, I think technically the ice rod requires the gravity suit to go into the lava to get. I'm not entirely sure. They have plenty of energy to actually just tank through it.
Actually gonna do that? Just tank it. You got, I mean, 7 energy tanks plus at least 1 reserve is okay. Now 8 energy tanks on Bressingham's side. That's a ridiculous amount of health for less than an hour into this game. There is next to nothing to be afraid of with this much health. I mean, Fantoon's not even scary anymore at this point with this much health.
Yeah.
Not that these runners are scared of Fantoon. I am. I hate Fantoon. He kills me a lot.
I was recently watching Ms. Metroid doing a multi-world, and she ended up having to do a 1 E-tank suitless Fantoon.
Hey, I think I was here for that.
Or was it 2 E-tanks? It might have been 2 E-tanks.
I think it was 2.
Yeah. Still.
Suitless Fantoon does like 80 damage a hit or some craziness. 40?
I think 40. But since you could, it's nearly impossible to avoid them. It's kind of a lot of damage real quick. I even know a speedrunner who is not comfortable with doing Fantoon with only 3 E-tanks.
I am being corrected in chat that's saying that the item in Cathedral is only required, necessary to have Varia and more if you do not need gravity for that. For logic standards, anyway.
Huh. Okay. I would expect an E-tank, but if you say so.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that bad.
Well, it's just, I mean, you have to leave the area too. I guess that's not so bad. You can just kill the enemies, farm some health. Oh, nice.
I didn't actually know that. I visited that site earlier today to make a seed for myself, and I didn't even notice that. So I probably should learn to read a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm sometimes a little surprised by the logic. Like Cathedral being in logic with no gravity suit, and in hard mode, uh, leaving Dragon also requires gravity suit, which I would think would be suitless would be in logic, but I guess not.
I think getting out
Not
of
that I'm
Dragon
complaining.
without a suit would be very difficult, if not impossible. I'm
Very
sure there's
difficult.
ways.
It's definitely not impossible, but hard logic is hard. So I was surprised that it was lenient in that particular instance.
Shaft Super is showing that we're just 20 rupees up there. And Bressingham is headed over to wrecked ship, or is he going down Red Tower? He's going to the ship. For a shovel in the moat.
Okay.
I dig
That's
it.
how the moat was made.
E-tank in the missiles in the middle, or the item in the middle. I don't know what that exactly is called.
I forget.
I think it's missiles in the middle.
Okay.
We know we're not known for much, but at least we can try to be punny, okay? I was watching one of these the other day, and the two commentators were very punny. Now we've got a 9 energy tank Fantoon coming up. That I think even I'm comfortable at this point.
Yeah.
And Spooky Missiles has for us the grapple beam, which right now doesn't do very much for us. But it does put Shack Tool in logic as soon as we get gravity.
Hmm. If this were hard logic, they would already have logical access to it.
Yes, but it's not hard logic, so we can't do that.
Actually, is that true? They don't have high jump or
They don't have high jump, so I don't think so. But
ring ball. I don't know.
you're close. And grapple is also one really nice way to kill Dragon. My second favorite way. My first favorite way is microwaving her, because that's always fun. Fantoon is the RNG master of the SMZ3. Well, I'd say probably one of the more RNG bosses here, where he has three different phases. He stays invisible for a long period of time, medium period of time, and a short period of time. He opens his eye for a long period of time, a medium period of time, and a short period of time. He's just a real pain in the butt. Also, if you hit him with a super missile and it doesn't kill him, he gets really, really angry and likes
who
to.
wouldn't?
I mean, to be fair, who wouldn't? All right, that would hurt. He shoots his fire for like 30 to 40 seconds, and it's very hard to avoid.
There are ways, but you don't want to trigger it in the first place, so you never really take the chance to practice it.
Yeah, it's much easier to just not do that.
Hmm.
Don't power bomb Croc, huh? I've never tried that. I don't know what happens there, but that'll be interesting. I'm gonna have to try that next time.
Interesting.
It charges you, huh? I didn't know that. I never even thought about doing that.
How much does he charge you? Is it 500 rupees?
Oh, and there's our red
Goodness, I'm not-
cane in the first check above Fantoon. So that's basically we can do Turtle Rock if it's Quake, and we had mitts.
My favorite part about that location for Arcana Samaria is that it doesn't require a book. So
Is there
moving
something
on, we're
I'm
gonna
missing
go
here?
up to attic. Maybe a little.
I'm assuming you forgot something that required the book somewhere recently.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
So Void's gonna be taking a safety save here. He's gonna be going on down to the sponge bath. Have himself a nice relaxing bath. And then he's gonna move on to the E-tank at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the path.
Yeah, this would be the spiky room of death coming up, and saving beforehand is definitely a good idea. While you have the various suit, it cuts down the damage of the
Okay.
stationary spikes. The falling spikes, they hurt a lot.
Gets through pretty relatively safely. Doesn't even lose a full E-tank. Very nice.
And if this item turns out to be nothing, he can just reset. He paused for a second, like, is this worth it?
Okay, he wants to keep it. That's fair.
Until charge beam is acquired, I would say any super missiles are definitely important because
That's
you
an
need
excellent
30
point.
to kill Ridley and 60 to kill Super or Mother Brain. And with the new logic changes to the version 11 combo randomizer, charge beam is no longer logically required to kill Mother Brain or Ridley. So those missiles are very useful.
Yep.
Plus, supers are awesome.
Yep.
I was going to say supers are super, but that's just way too punny for me.
They deal double damage to Ridley, so it is the fastest form of DPS against him. And same for Golden Torizo, I believe.
I don't know about gold. I don't think golden trees will take double damage from those, but they do fire faster than a charge beam does. I know that charged ice wave plasma is a very fast way to kill golden Torizo.
Yeah, it is. It can double hit Golden Torizo if you're... well, for one thing, if it's jumping, it's real easy to get double hits. But also, if you're just crouched, you can sometimes get double hits as well.
I did not know that the golden... There's our fourth bottle. Holy cow. I did not know that golden Torizo threw your super missiles back at you. That's
absolutely.
That's amusing.
Yeah, he just catches it out of the midair and then just throws it at you.
Well, that's not very nice. And we're going to welcome our raid from SpeedGaming Francais. Welcome, guys, ladies and gents, to the Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer. It's one of the races, one of 3 races we have going on right now, I believe. This is an elimination match between jooniejoone and bressinghamvoigt. The winner stays, the loser goes home. Or, well, he doesn't continue on, I guess. Going home would be kind of irrelevant because they're already home, most likely, unless they're playing from like an internet cafe or something, which is possible.
I don't know if it is. They'd probably all be closed.
That is true. In this time of madness, that is true. And then missiles in the sky was the swag net, so that's going to be marginally useful later on. Could have been cool to have that before Aga, because then you could have used it to kill Aga.
True. It is actually pretty handy if you don't want to take the time to go out of your way to buy potions. And you just happen across some fairies. You could just save them for later.
Especially useful when you find the powder.
Yeah.
And with 4 bottles, keeping a fairy in a bottle is never a bad idea. Our health situation in Super Metroid is the highest I've ever seen it at an hour in. For the combo randomizer, anyway.
Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. I would almost consider doing lava dive with this much health, but
They definitely have enough to do the stand-up glitch.
Yep.
Which I think you need 8?
7.
7, okay. I tried it once and failed, and she killed me, so
Yeah, it's risky.
I haven't tried it again.
I believe you don't get iframes from walking into her, so you could get chain damaged pretty quickly. And I don't know exactly how the timing works to trigger the health check.
Me neither, but I didn't do it fast enough, so I died. I was like, yep, you know what? We're going to do this another day. Because at that point, when you're that far into a Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer seed, you're like, I just want to be done.
Yeah. Jooniejoone taking this moment to recover from his hydration.
And go to the restroom, grab a drink, stretch out them hands. There's our boots in beta power bombs. Now we get to go fast! Excuse me, our Pegasus boots. Because I know there are more than one kind of boot. So those are fast boots, not our high boots. Speed boots? Is the speed boots instead of the speed boost? I mean, it's close.
I don't know exactly if the speed booster is I mean, the graphics not a boot, but is the mechanic in the boot? Or is it like thrusters on her back or what? I don't know.
I have no idea. It's a good question.
I think it is supposed to be some kind of like jet propulsion attachment on her back or something. Bressingham taking some damage from the waivers so as to not take damage from the spikes. And Bo here in
He almost left it too. He was like, wait a minute, I need that.
Yep. Oh man.
So that puts Eastern fully into logic. That puts Pod fully clearable.
Mm-hmm. And they do have book as well. So they have logical they have access to the green pendant as well as pyramid fairy. That's interesting.
We cannot get through desert yet. We do not have gloves.
Oh yeah. Well, how about that?
Yeah. Just an hour later, still no gloves. We got footwear, but no handwear. We can run really fast and we can swim, but we can't pick anything up. Maybe there's something hiding here in Spazer. Who knows?
Yeah, they're either a glove or a gravity suit away from desert access through obscure means. I'm sure they'll find glove any minute now. Wouldn't it be wild if it was on Zora?
What a trickery! What trickery is this?
Then they get their mitts from Lan Mullas or something.
Who knows? Crate could be hiding something back here too. We haven't seen this yet. It's funny how we saw Phantoon before Crate. That's unusual.
Little unusual, yeah. Well, we saw Kraid from Junie's side. Screw attack is very nice. Yeah.
Junie
Wait.
killed Crate?
No, he didn't. What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of before the match when I was watching Bressingham.
I was like, wait a minute, what? Where? I definitely missed something then.
You know, I intentionally didn't watch other SMZ3 matches so that I wouldn't confuse things that happened in previous games. And then I was watching Bressingham and I saw him fighting Kraid, and I was like, oh, well, someone's beaten Kraid already. Nice little, nice quick kill on Bressingham's side. So that, the quick kill is real interesting because you can kind of lock his jaw in place with a well-timed missile. I think it might be, it might be frame perfect, I'm not sure, but when Kraid's mouth is at a certain level of openness and he takes damage, he just gets stunned for some reason.
He just stays there. I haven't figured that one out yet, but I want to. And at the Kraid E-Tank, we find hopefully not Vanilla. Did he have Screw Attack? Where did he get Screw Attack?
That was right before Kraid. That was in the
missiles
power
above?
bomb blocks. Yeah.
What? Nice. I look away for 30 seconds and I miss it. Like, jeez.
And Junie's missed it so far. I'm sure he'll probably get it on the way back, though.
Oh, I hope so. A Screw Attack makes life significantly easier later on.
Mm-hmm. Both Lower Norfair and Meridia would definitely benefit.
Worst room in the game becomes trivial when you have Screw Attack and Space Jump.
Junie also gets the Lockjaw and Quick Kill on Kraid.
The Lockjaw. I like it. For the X-Ray.
Might as well. Don't have plasma yet, but
don't have charge yet either.
One of the components, yeah. True. It will also potentially be useful if he wants to do any clipping shenanigans later on in Meridia.
Yeah, there are certain things called X-ray wall climbs that I've seen in the past that are quite interesting to see.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're like forced into a crushing position because you're in like you're stuck between a snail and a ceiling, for example, you could just turn on X-ray, try to turn around and deactivate X-ray in nearly the same time, and it'll force Samus to inexplicably stand up, and then you could oftentimes just jump through the ceiling.
Gotta love Super Metroid.
Yeah. Because typically it checks if there's a solid block above you, and if you're standing up, then your head is already poking through, so there's nothing above you.
And there's our ice rod on Bressingham's side.
Okay. You don't take nearly as much damage with Varia as I thought. Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, Varia does reduce hazard damage.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now we're going to see what's remaining behind high jump, and 20 rupees is on top of it. And 5 missiles is inside of it, so that's kind of a dead end. Really nothing useful there.
I'm kind of interested what Junie's gonna find here. Looks like just bumps. Okay, so nothing blocked by speed booster on this end. He did do a mock ball to get through the gates, which is not expected in the logic.
And now Bressingham heads to the dark world portal. That's right, we killed Aga.
Yeah.
After he gets bullied by this red guard for 4 hits.
Jeez.
Those red guards are mean, man. Those guys are mean.
They really are.
They're aggressive, they're fast, and they don't give up until you kill them.
You know what? With Wave Beam in hand, they also have access to Crocomire.
Yes, they do.
And with Morph Ball in hand, they also have access to the Norfair reserves. There's a few items they can check.
Bressingham trying to go check Catfish. Immediately goes to try to I guess he's going to skip Catfish. He goes to try to lift the rock and realizes, oh yeah, wait, I can't do that yet.
Nice audible call here.
He's going to check King's Tomb and the Ghost Ledge.
Yeah. Graveyard Ledge.
Graveyard Ledge, that's the one.
Oh,
Holy
ledge.
crap, my brain was just like, gone. For the Bloomerang, or the Poomerang, depending on your favorite color.
Blue is definitely the best color.
I prefer the red Boomerang, but I do like the color blue better. I like sparklies.
It travels faster than the blue Boomerang and a lot further. And the sparklies, while it could cause lag, which most players hate, the lag, while the sparkles are also
useful for helping you do splash deletion glitches to get into the water.
Mm-hmm. You can do some manipulation tricks with the graphical effects for some reason, because Super Nintendo is a silly console.
I mean, it's 30 plus years old, man. A lot of things at 30 years old tend to start to decay a little bit. Like me.
Dude, I loved the quirky ways NES and SNES deal with memory.
It is kind of amusing. Don't worry. 30 is when the downhill slide begins, so enjoy it. And there's a mushroom on the bumper ledge. Oh. Bressingham's gonna go check Lumberjack now. I have no idea. We actually get to see what it is this time. It's a pizza.
Okay.
And Speed Booster's behind Croc.
That's fascinating.
I usually say always bet on Croc. That's like my go-to thing, and I didn't get a chance to because I got caught up in talking about other stuff. But always bet on Croc.
Aw, dang. So Junie was trying to store what we call a spike suit because it's usually set up with spikes. He wanted to do a double frame perfect trick to turn his Shine Spark into a permanently accessible Shine Spark. It just didn't quite work out. But he does get this Shine Spark across here.
Which is
Save
just swag at this
couple
point. He
seconds.
has space jump. Holy cow, the amount of energy tanks this seed has given us is astronomical. I think that was like our 10th one we've seen so far. I am also confused, chat, as to why we have not seen a pod play yet.
Yeah, I thought that would have been the first thing on their minds after they beat Aghanim, but Cave 73 had other plans for them.
And I mean, it's right there. You can full clear it. It's a crystal. You're gonna have to do it eventually.
Maybe they just want to know whether or not it would be a good idea to get the green pendant right afterwards.
With all the way the logic placed all of our early items, I am beginning to believe that there is definitely a glove in pod.
Probably. There tends to be a glove in pod or swamp or something like that. Jooniejoone routing this nicely so he can use a Shine Spark to escape the lower regions of Kruckermeyer's area. Now, Moth is a funny boss. He's coming in here with the Master Sword, which is, I mean, it's a lot better than a Fighter Sword. Not quite as good as the Tempered Sword. Interesting tidbit about Moth is that he doesn't take damage from Tempered Sword spins because it shares the same damage value as the spikes, which he's programmed to be immune to.
Which is what forced the devs to go into the coding and change the gold sword damage on Moth. I am sorry for that, chat.
Basically treats the gold sword as a tempered sword for the purposes of the Moth fight.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say before the Velociraptor in the back of the room decided to go off. Raising toddlers is so much fun.
We're finally getting an Agana check, an hour and 22 minutes in.
Agana's a heart container. We've seen this already.
Bressing did already get that. Junie hasn't quite yet. He's probably
hoping for
real
go get a
anxious.
pet check hype though. A really big super missiles. Super missiles. Pet is dead.
All right.
Thank God it's not an Agaped seed. Thank God.
Well, they haven't found Charge Beam. Maybe they'll do all the penance for a super missile.
I'm gonna go with probably not.
Yeah.
There's like 85 super missiles in this game. I don't think they need to get that one.
So typically in vanilla Super Metroid, there are only 50 super missiles and 50 power bombs, but the randomizer has changed it so that, well, since you don't really know where where Charge Beam is going to be, and it's not necessarily required, they just added in more super missiles just for insurance for final bosses.
Ain't nothing like a little bit of insurance. And so far, Desert is not boots locked, and it's not gonna be. But not that it matters, we have our boots.
Now, it would be doable to beat Mother Brain with 50 super missiles and 230 missiles that the vanilla game gives you, but
That does not sound like fun.
yeah, you would rather just have a bunch of supers instead.
It's find it strange that we are doing desert before we have the ability to clear it.
Maybe he
Unless
just
the
realized-
gloves are in here,
Absolutely possible.
which is, I mean, this is where they normally are, so it is possible that they. Well, he's already checked all the items, so no, they're not here.
Oh, he cleared desert already?
I believe he's already seen every item that he can get his hands on.
Yeah, you want that super missile. And speaking of getting his hands on things, yeah.
How many times are they going to try to lift something up and realize, you can't do this? Where has all my strength gone? And it's been taken out of my body and put into a pair of gloves, hidden somewhere between two different places. This is so not fair.
Huh. Has Junie not gotten his flippers? Where were those? Jeez.
Flippers were Mission Impossible.
Right, okay. Oh.
That's not good. That's a very bad place to orphan.
Has he been through Green Brinstar?
I believe so.
Hmm. It's possible we missed it. Well, we'll check next time he menus. Oh, he didn't have a super missile at the time, so he couldn't actually get it. Oh man. That
That's
hurts.
really rough. Yeah, that's not good. We were talking about farming money earlier, and now we have a copious amount of cash to be able to do whatever we want.
So if he knows the fake flippers, he might not actually need the real flippers at all. Maybe. Depends on what's in Swamp. They could have another glove. They're both going into pod, hoping for that glove there. It's getting more and more likely the more they find junk in other places.
Now, to be fair, we can fake flipper, but if there is something hidden in Swamp, you can't fake flipper that.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's figured out yet that you could just do the diver down and then like splash delete to get into the front of Swamp. So that's not an option.
There's our single arrow of destiny. If pod doesn't have any value, then I will be very surprised. I mean, I don't expect to see anything useful until we get to the backside, because it's called Mullet Mansion for a reason. There's just business in the front and all the parties in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because the key layout is basically required you to get all these keys before you can do anything. So you kind of need to be able to get all the keys first.
The randomizer has to place at least 4 keys in the front out of the, what is it, 6 chests? Yeah,
I
6
think there are
chests.
6, yeah.
And is probably also going to have a big key and a good chance that a map or compass is there as well. Every once in a while, you get a nice surprise and find a heart container instead of a compass.
Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of the dungeon. Back where the dark maze is, the turtle room, the rupee room, all the good stuff.
Yeah, and 3 of these chests, the one in Harmless Hellway and the 2 in Dark Maze, actually cannot have a small key, because otherwise there's potential to... Oh, well, I mean, the Harmless Hellway can, actually, but the Dark Maze cannot, because if you lock a key in there, you would have to do a glitch to retrieve it.
Talking
Even
about a
though-
hammer yump?
Yeah, hammer yump. Even though in vanilla there is a small key in the Dark Maze, that's just not possible in Randomizer.
Brrr. Why did Bressingham mirror there?
Where did he mirror?
He mirrored right before he got into the big key room, or the dark maze.
Oh. Accident looked like. Yeah, he did a few railing pulls, frustration pulls.
He's definitely not happy about that. He traded key
Yeah.
for a key, which is usually what happens when that chest there.
So nothing important yet.
Nope, not at all. I don't think we've seen all of the dungeon items either, so I think that the last boss, or the boss has a compass, maybe, or a map?
Dang.
Yeah,
But a
the
red crystal.
Helmosaur has the map. So there are no gloves in pod, surprisingly. I'm actually kind of baffled that there's no gloves in here. However, we haven't we seen catfish? Because catfish could have them.
I don't.
Never mind.
No,
No, we can't.
no.
We can't go to catfish.
Correct.
We don't have gloves to get to catfish. Right.
You could have a glove, but you need another glove to get to him.
There's Spazer. That's nice, sorta.
Yeah, without plasma, that's an option.
I like Spazer. I find it very useful in Hyper Metroid.
Spazer is nice because it widens the beam, making it easier to hit enemies, and also there's a quirk with the way collision works with beams, in that if the beam is able to pass through, like if any part of the beam is able to pass around a wall, then the entire beam just goes through it anyway. Which is kind of meaningless when you already have wave beam, but it's a nice little trivia. It's really handy in, like, if you go into Lower Norfair without a wave.
Yeah, there, or I was gonna say the Retro Bryn area where the 3 side hoppers are next to the morph ball pit.
Yeah.
And so everybody say hello to our residential Dino Kitty. 17 smashes to the face will break his mask, and then you can just poke his gem out with 8 arrows or a bunch of sword swings.
Yeah. It's going with the sword swings in this case, which I think does as much damage as the arrows.
I
Pretty sure.
think so. Now, silver's on the other hand is just one shot.
Yeah. Pretty good fights.
The execution is definitely on point.
Yeah, you can hold your sword out to extend the hammer's hitbox, but it does create lag, so these players are opting just to go up point blank and hammer it. Just get inside its mouth and throw out the hammer.
I honestly, as a kid, I had no idea that the hammer worked. I had to use bombs because I didn't know. The hammer is so much easier.
Well, it takes 17 hammer hits versus 5 bombs. So, I don't know. Older speedruns would use a combination of bombs and hammer. Just, I guess, for simplicity. Because it's a really tiny hitbox on the hammer, especially when you're facing north. For some reason, the hammer hitbox is like a pixel shorter when you're facing north, making it harder to hit enemies. Because why would things be consistent?
Well, it's just like Link's changes his hand when you in this game, because he's normally he's supposed to be left-handed, but if you swing to the, I think if you swing to the east, he becomes right-handed.
Yep.
Because instead of adding another sprite in, they just decided to swap the sprite from left to right and save a little bit of memory.
It's pretty interesting. That's especially an issue in Link's Awakening, where you basically have a blind spot where you cannot hit enemies to the southeast of you unless you do a spin.
That is rather irritating, but the new Link's Awakening, that's not a problem. I do not know where we're going at this point. What do we do? Do we go into swamp? Do we go dip that nightmare?
Wonder what he's thinking with the Dark World here. This is his only Dark World access. You know what? Swamp looks like to be on his mind.
He did pick up a shovel, right?
He did.
He may go check the dig spot, and then we've seen Bombo's tablet, right? Maybe? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. Oh, I thought for a second it was trying to go into the Dark World of Super Metroid.
I was like, "Oh, where does that lead?" I don't remember that portal.
He's trying to go into Dark Aether.
Ay, ay, ay. Not without a suit.
I don't remember if that one's Temple Grounds. It might be Torvis.
God, that would be a disaster. That would be a hell of a surprise. Like, whoa, 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 I'm in the wrong game.
How do I play this with a Super Nintendo controller?
Luckily, my controller is the same for all my games, because I'm broke. There's the Boom Boom tablet with more Boom Booms.
All right. Yep, he's going into Swamp Palace. They say there's always a sword in Swamp, but little do people know there's often a glove there as well. in more recent logics, at least.
Today I found my mitts on plasma beam. It was a required double dip of Meridia. It was not fun.
Dang.
But that was my seed, and that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about these two guys. Hey, I almost was gonna put money that there was gonna be a key in that chest. Oh, because there has to be. You can't do anything else without that key.
Not quite key sanity. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. It's coming soon. TM. Sooner than we think, actually, because I know that they're working very hard on it.
Yeah.
Did we see the green pendant? Because I definitely didn't see it. Was it bombs? Like regular bombs or morph ball bombs or...
3 bombs. Thank you, chat. jooniejoone on his way to the big rock where he will maybe mirror.
He stopped. There's more dead rocks in this seed than I thought there would be. That's what, the 4th or 5th time that we've had a dead rock? And I will pun that one, because that one's funny. However, the warning sound of low health on Bressingham is not so fun.
It's informative.
At least it's not the double speed.
You know what I really want? I want the Super Metroid low health beep to be the Return of Samus low health beep. I actually really like the low health beep in Return of Samus.
I cannot say I ever played that game, so I cannot concur.
Like, when you first take damage, it kind of loudly alerts you with a beeping, and then it softens so that it's easier to kind of ignore. And then as you get lower on health, like as you take more and more damage, the beeping gets faster and higher pitched. So it's real panic inducing.
Oh, gotta love panic in these kind of games. Nothing like low health warning when you're standing in Dark Aether. And Bressingham did a diver down to avoid having to flood the room to get nothing. So far, Swamp has been absolutely garbage. I haven't been counting items. I don't know if he's found them all or not, but I mean, might as well while you're here. If it's got an item, it could be the glove could be right here, or it could be the map. I don't remember what he's picked up.
Not so bad a fight with the Master Sword. I definitely prefer to have Tempered Sword here for a single slash kill on our guy. The little puffballs.
Also has to be extraordinarily careful because low health can kill you.
Can take 4 spins. You could offer Fire Rod or Ice Rod shots to kind of chain hits on him to potentially one round him, but just takes it easy. Doesn't want to waste time menuing. Just do 4 slashes. It's fine. And
I do not believe he did the left side swamp, no. So he may go back in. He also got the big key in the back, so he may go back in for that as well. I would assume that because he's looking for items, he's going to go back in. And I'm sorry for cutting you off there.
I was just saying that's pretty nice that he waited until he got the big key, so he'll have 3 chests to open up here. I think one of them will be a compass, probably. But actually, I'm not sure. So unfortunately, he won't be able to do left side diver down here. Oh, there's the compass.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It's nice to
Also,
do left side
luckily,
early.
luckily he won't be able to do drown the key either.
Nowadays with diver down, it's actually a lot of people now intentionally drown the key because they can just diver down into the water and just pick up the key while submerged. It's pretty goofy.
It's definitely interesting to see the new techniques that keep coming out in this game that is over 30 years old. It came out in what, 93? 94?
So, I want to say 93.
Okay, so maybe almost 30 then?
91. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
way off.
So, yeah. I got at least I got one of the numbers right.
Oh, right. Wasn't Ocarina of Time like 94?
No.
No? Okay.
Ocarina of Time was early 2000s, I think.
No. That was like
Maybe 98.
GameCube edition.
Oh, look, 98. There we go.
98? That was way off. Okay. Split the difference. All right.
Man, that makes me feel old. I remember when that game came out. There's our first shirt change of the game. Blue mail's nice.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time.
There's our glove on the last chest on left side swamp. Oh my, what a place to bury that thing.
Where to next? Catfish or Zora, or, well, both? Going immediately into desert. Interesting play.
It's another crystal.
Yeah,
It's your other 5-6 crystal.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna route in nicely. You can do Pyramid Fairy onto Catfish, onto Zora, and Waterfall Fairy. Pretty convenient routing. I like it.
At least this time we'll get to see what the backup desert holds. I don't know if it's an item or not, I can't remember.
Well, we can start counting now.
Well, there's one.
There.
I think there's only 2 in this dungeon, so once we find the second one, that's all we need.
The small key here.
And then I know there's a compass on the right side, I think. Pretty sure it's a compass.
I would rather see him fighting the boss right away, so he knows if he has to come back or not. But this is fine.
Ha! I knew there was a compass over here.
And survey says second item is on the boss. Okay.
Right. Well, why is he going out that door? wait a minute. I need to go out the other door.
Maybe he's just used to mirroring into the side of desert.
It is true. Dead rocked? Who got dead rocked? Was that jooniejoone? Did he do something that I missed? That'd be like 7. Okay. Got rock blocked. I like that. That's just barely PG enough for us to be able to use it.
So Pendant Thieves Town is generally a pretty good play.
Yes, Pendant Thieves has been the bane of many a runner. I know that Tracy M hates seeing a pendant at Thieves Town because she always leaves something there. Using the fire rod to make quick work of those first two landmos, unfortunately not having enough magic to take the last one out.
A few slashes and a couple of spins. Gets it down now.
Grub pizza!
And there's 2 items in the front of Thieves Town, so there's going to be 2 in the back. He has hammer, so...
Yet another dungeon. Yet another dungeon we're not worried about full clearing. Personally, I prefer to Quake Dead Rocks because they make me so angry that I just want to take out all of the fury I can on them.
You could also powder them if you could catch them.
That's why I Quake them. They can't run away from Quake.
Yeah, true. There are a lot of enemies that bounce up and down that are vulnerable to Quake, but only when they're on the ground, such as the Pengators in Ice Palace.
It is kind of amusing how that works. To think that they had that kind of level of physics at this time in video game development is amusing.
There's the whole altitude variable programmed in the game.
That's kind of what makes the spooky action glitch work so well.
And also what sometimes makes bombs just completely miss mold arms that are like right inside the explosion. Pretty frustrating at times.
So far, there was nothing in the attic of Thieves Town, so now we're going to go to the basement. While Bressingham is grabbing the massive explosive and taking it to the front of the pyramid. Luckily, with Aga being dead, he could have taken the shortcut, but he's electing for the long way.
For some reason, with a well-timed dash, you can dash along with the super bomb when you get hit.
jooniejoone conveniently remembering that he does not have gloves, so he cannot lift the block that is blocking his path in the lower section of Thieves Town.
Yeah, that can trip up players sometimes because they're so used to having glove here that they think it's impossible to go through, but you just kill all the enemies and go left instead. And he does get the small key, so he's going to open the big chest. And plasma
There's
beam.
our plasma beam and the pyramid fairy. That's nice.
It's 2 out of 3 components for the microwave.
And with ice and plasma, all we need is... We have wave as well, so yeah, all we need is charge and we're crispy. Because we've also seen Spazer. Now we can check catfish. For once. Finally!
And Zora.
And Zora Ledge and Waterfall Fairy. If we haven't seen those already, which I don't think we have. Oops.
That shouldn't be a problem, right? I'm sure it's fine. Okay, he's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I think there is a potential soft lock that could happen if you dash wrongly into that corner. I haven't personally seen it. I've just heard of it.
I missed the blind pun today too. That's unfortunate.
Hey, silver arrows. Not progression.
Wow.
Well,
That can make or break a run at the end, though, because that could really, between doing silverless strats and silvered strats, can really change the pace of a Ganon fight.
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they'll find a sword eventually, but if not, that's a big damage difference.
It's also very useful to have when you're fighting bosses such as Vitreous, where it's two silver bolts to the eyeball instead of a million sword swing.
Mhm.
And Zora just had missiles. Nothing.
So flippers weren't yeah, flippers weren't the answer, it seems. Norfair reserves, maybe? He's on his way there. Nope, never mind.
I don't actually know.
He's on his way to Krockemeyer? Wait. No. Okay, he's getting his
Ice.
Norfair
Nope,
reserves
he already
checked.
got his ice rob. Never mind. I lied.
He's double checking, he wasn't sure either.
Better safe than sorry, especially for something like that. Oh, jooniejoone, and get another +1 to your dead rock counter. He just tried to lift up the rock between K45 and the swamp area.
And yeah, circle of bushes was already checked, that was nothing as well. Or bush henges, I like to call it. Maybe this was checked by jooniejoone earlier. I feel like I remember seeing that 50 rupees there.
Yes, it was. jooniejoone did check that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Where to next then?
He's gonna go to Croc,
Yeah, he's gonna get a speed booster there.
which is nice.
Dang. Dang. jooniejoone's had speed booster for a while, and he's been looking for glove for the longest time. Hasn't thought to check swamp, which ends up having a glove. However, well, he doesn't have the flippers, but it turns out it was. I think it's gonna be speed booster locked progression all along.
I'm not entirely sure what the precious item is, but that doesn't sound like a place I'd want something.
It's you know the
The item
Dragon
right
room?
before Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why is that called precious?
Because someone was referring to that tank in the precious room before Dragon, because they accidentally typoed. They meant to say previous.
Ew. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we get another dead rock from Spike Cave. This will be the 9th dead rock of the seed.
Well, at least he's not the only one. Well, at least he didn't burn a blue potion before saving quitting there as well. So that's the one up on Voigt.
Yeah, that's a small bonus. If we're keeping track, anyway.
Can they be dead rocks if they were never alive to begin with?
I mean, it's a lot safer than saying rock blocked, because that's just asking for a misspeak on on stream. What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna go fake flipper.
This is a good play when you have a lot of flipper checks you haven't checked, but you don't have flippers, and you just have one-offs, like, far, far away that you have left to check.
Chat speaks, it shall be called stonewalled.
All right.
It's fitting. It's fitting.
How about Boulder Dashed?
Nah, that's more like Boulder Dash is more like when you bonk a rock you're not supposed to. That's not bonkable. I don't know.
That's true.
Was it gravity at Hobo? What? Oh, what? That's not good. I mean, that's going to lead Junie to Meridia, but he's going to know that there's no glove there, or at least his first glove's not going to be there. Or his slippers won't be there, I mean, excuse me. It could be a glove there, though.
Yeah, that's real fascinating. I forgot about the hobo.
That's
That's the
interesting.
way he wanted it, I'm sure.
I mean, he just likes to live under the bridge and be left alone. He gets tired of people visiting him.
Because Bressing routed through Catfish to get to Zora.
I mean, that's why he pays off the last person to go down there. Like, dude, take this and leave me alone. Joonie using the interesting water walking glitch to get to Zora, to get his garbage.
Yeah, apparently when you're coming out of the waterfall, the game checks if you have the Moon Pearl. And then it's like, oh, you have the Moon Pearl. Okay, well, you can be standing here in the water. And then it forgets that there's deep water, like right in front of you. And it's like,
it's so weird. That's a nice moonfall from Bressingham.
Yeah.
I don't see that very often.
To cancel the speed so he doesn't go through the block.
I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I figured that there was obviously some component there because you can speed booster through it on the way out.
Yeah, usually, well, in speedruns, you fast fall and just completely pass through the block to get to the door really fast.
I didn't know that. I learn something new every time I watch these things.
Yeah. Nice shine spark through this room by jooniejoone. Turning on the spazer, turning off ice is gonna check his... He already checked X-ray, didn't he? That had bow, right?
Yes, X-ray had our bow with the seed.
He just got he just got gravity, so he's going past Meridia and going somewhere else.
He's definitely going to
right.
Waterway.
Well, Waterway, and also he might actually check Mission Impossible.
If he remembers that he hasn't checked it already.
That would be critical for him.
Yes, that definitely needed to be done.
We're about to see Waterway on Bressing's end. Gets there one room ahead of Junie, but no gravity, so gonna take the slow way through the speedway. Just 50 rupees. We'll see if Junie goes up from here.
I hope so. He needs to. Otherwise, he's going to be stonewalled for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going up.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that's not going to say it's going to cost him the race, but it's not going to do good.
Luckily for him, Bressingham has so far forgotten Hobo. He is right next to Hobo now. Maybe he'll remember. Or, I don't know if he's forgotten it, but he's put it off for a long time.
He's
And
in the
looks like
water.
he's on his way there.
His stream is frozen on my end, but he's in the water. I heard him splash.
Mm-hmm. So good news for him. So space jump is a real quirky item in this gravity for Void. So when you first get space jump, you're in the water and you're like, hey, space jump, I could just infinitely jump. This is so much easier. And then you get out of the water and then you can't space jump anymore and you're wondering why. It's because the physics change how you're able to space jump. You could space jump almost instantaneously when you're underwater. You only have to wait like 3 or 4 frames between jumps. Whereas in the air, you gotta wait like about 8 months between space jumps.
That ain't no lie. It's always weird. I wish the underwater physics for space jump were everywhere because it makes life so much easier. It's much easier to just fly everywhere than it is to space jump. Oh, it failed. Now I'm going to fall down this whole shaft and have to do it all over again.
A major reason some people prefer the GBA games.
They are a lot easier to use. Now, I think that Metroid Fusion is probably my favorite 2D Metroid game, but I played it long before I ever played any other Metroid besides Prime. So I fell in love with that one first, and the rest of them have just been great. So to answer your question in chat, it is possible that mitts are the only thing we need for Go Mode. We do not know what medallions are needed for Meyer or Turtle Rock yet. So we may be just mitts away. We may be mitts Bombos away. We may be mitts Ether Bombos away. We don't know yet. And there is precious powder.
All right.
And a tempered sword in the watering hole.
I don't know, which one would you prefer?
What do you mean?
Between tempered sword or powder?
Oh, tempered sword, without a doubt.
Powder is pretty strong when you're face tanking enemies, but
I don't know if I'd want to do Master Sword Ganon. Just no thanks.
Yeah.
I can do Silverless. That's not so bad. Ooh, and he gets the Dragon quick kill. Very nicely done.
So Bressingham.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think Bressingham knows he's kind of only looking for Glove, just so he can get checks on the medallion requirements. So he's looking to be just clearing out the bosses first, and then checking stuff along the way. when you're just one item away from go mode, you tend to just skip a lot of out of the way checks.
Joonie Joone's going to go ahead in the same direction Bressingham just was. Bressingham's stream is frozen for me. I don't know if it is for everybody else, but
Yeah.
He's in the aqueduct.
Yeah. It looks like he just got his check there. Probably doing the sand pits shortly after.
Unfortunately, we will not know what item was there until Joonie Joone goes and sees it.
I wonder if he'll full clear Meridia. It would make sense just to go straight for Lower Norfair after this.
There's a large number of item checks down there, and you need to do it anyway, and you're here. So you might as well clear it out, be done with it.
And with 54 super missiles, I wouldn't mind doing the gate glitch and missing a bunch of times and then probably still having enough ammo for Ridley afterwards.
Probably. Apparently, he saw a sand pit and did not like what he saw, so he reset. Joonie also getting the Dragon quick kill. Very nicely done.
Yeah. I need to figure that one out. I think it's a matter of like manipulating Dragon to grab you at a certain spot. Oh, we got a glove in the left sand pit. Or, yeah, left sand pit.
That's going to lead Joonie away from gloves in Swamp for a long time. Chances are he's going to be headed straight there shortly, so that's going to be a significant distraction.
Well, I don't know, because they are locked by gravity suit, which is locked by flippers. So, I wonder if he's going to know he's probably going to need flippers, or if he's just going to gamble that the flippers can be completely skipped. He might, I would reckon he'd full clear Super Metroid first and hope there's another glove in Lower Norfair, which there won't be, but once he gets done with that, we'll see how much he does in A Link to the Past afterwards. Because he knows he's missing flippers somewhere.
It's just unfortunate that he did not have a super missile when he got there. That's rough. We're going to get our first look at Misery Mire to see what medallion we need to clear it. It is Ether. So we need Ether. And it may be right here in the hut.
Likely.
I don't know how many times I've seen the key just under the mat. But not today. We're getting a Shack Tool check in chat. Get your Shack Tool hype!
It is entirely possible this hopeful go mode from Bressingham could have caused him to skip potential actual go mode. Ether could very well be here on Shack Tool. That would be huge for Joonie.
I totally didn't see what was it. Screw attack. I didn't even look. I wasn't even paying attention. I was watching the Majestic Shack tool.
I think it was garbage. Right? Yeah, it's pretty distracting.
Chat usually screams when I miss something, so yeah, obviously it was nothing. And Shack was also nothing.
Dang.
I'd have taken the 20 rupees over the 5 missiles for sure.
Junie also has a tempered sword up on Void, so if Void actually finds his go mode at some point before finding a tempered sword, we may have to go through a master sword Ganon fight. Also, silvers were on blind, and there's a glove for Junie. There we go.
Yes. I don't see...
Interesting. Doing a little wiggle strat to just clip into the pedestal to get that glove.
I definitely don't see Bressing getting the silvers. He ain't going there. And he's probably not going to go to the watering hole. So he may be doing Master Sword Silverless, which sucks. It's 24 spins per the first 2 phases, and then it's 4 for the third, and then it's another 28. There's our Morph Ball bombs, and Power Bomb's a shame.
I want to say it's 12.
Well, yeah, it's
No.
12 for the first
is it
phase,
12
12 for
for
the
the
second phase.
Or is it 24 for the last?
It's a lot.
Or 24.
It's 24 spins.
Right,
My bad.
okay.
It is a lot. For a total of 52. Right. 52 is the total. And we're gonna fight our ninja pirates just before Ridley. Should be a cakewalk.
So we would need to relight the torch a minimum of 8 times. Luckily they have lamp and well, they don't have half magic, but they do have bottles. And 30 super missiles is very quick on Ridley.
Then all you gotta do is get grabbed, and Ridley dies. Apparently giving Samus a hug causes Ridley to self-destruct.
As you unfortunately can't see, but I mean, you can hear it. We're making use of all of our senses here on Speed Gaming today.
I don't know what you're tasting, but I don't want to know. The bitter taste of getting stonewalled?
Delicious, refreshing water.
Water is good. Water is life. Almost like coffee.
I kind of want more soda, but I also don't want to feel fat, so...
That's why I don't drink soda.
Yeah.
And you're not from the Midwest, that's for sure, because out here they call it pop, and it's so weird to me. Bressingham trying to get a speedball to get through this here instead of using bombs. It's a cool trick if you get it the first try, saves time, but not worth wasting time over.
Disagree. I always like going for that. I'll waste as much time as it takes.
I mean, I suppose if you're not racing somebody, yeah, but in races, seconds count.
It's true.
Junie taking down the landmills with a single silver arrow to the head.
Is another crystal down for him?
I wish the items had individual unique sound effects like they do in the Varia randomizer. That way we could tell what, at least maybe have an idea of what he's picking up.
So that side area in the Upper Norfair Escape has an item. And this other one right before it has blue rupee. Okay. We got to see that one.
And the magic bat gave us 50 rupees, so not worth it.
There we go. Franker Z with the goods, giving us ether.
That's necessary.
Good boy.
And with that, that's basically everything in Super Metroid. So the only thing we need now is the knowledge of what Medallion Turtle Rock is, and then we will know whether we are in go mode or not.
And Bressingham is on his way to the mountain right now.
So, yeah, and he's got to be able to do that. He's going to be able to check Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave while he's there. This is essentially Bressingham's race to lose. Or win.
Unless it's Bombos.
And if it's Bombos, well, then we gotta keep looking.
Ooh. Just barely enough space to squeeze by that dead rock.
The unofficial mascot. There's things just such a pain in the butt. Why the developers thought that would be such a good idea, I will never know.
A Link to the Past, but every enemy is a dead rock.
Now, dead rocks are really entertaining when it's a randomizer, because then they just show up in random places.
They're awful in dark rooms, though.
They hurt.
And plasma for Junie.
Yay, he got charged. Where did we get charged?
Yes. Watering hole? That sounds familiar. No, watering hole was the sword, I guess. Oh,
It was on the
okay,
beach? Oh, I had no idea. I didn't even see it. We're Quispy! Yay! And Turtle Rock is Ether, so 2 hours, 22 minutes, 30 seconds, Bressingham is in go mode.
Just 3 more dungeons to go.
Unfortunately, it's the 3 worst dungeons in the game. But you get to go mode them, so that is kind of nice. Go moding Ice is not bad. Go moding Mire, if it's a God Mire, isn't bad.
He also does have the Can of Samaria, and since he knows Diver Down, I'm assuming he also knows the Icebreaker as well. So that'll speed things up considerably. He won't even have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump anymore.
TNA addressed a question in chat. Can you be more... Okay, so basically what the combo randomizer has done is it's taken both Super Metroid and Link to the Past and smashed them together, shooken them up, and sent their items spread out between both games. So you could find your charge beam on the the pedestal, or you could find your hook shot behind Crocomire. There are 4 doors between the games. One that is in the Fortune Teller Hut just south of Link's house, one that is in the unused cave in Death Mountain, one that is in the Dark Ice Rod Cave, and one that is in the Right Mire Shed. They lead you to sequentially Criteria, Upper Norfair, Meridia, and Lower Norfair. And the objective is to kill all the bosses of Super Metroid, clear all 7 crystals of Link to the Past, and then defeat both Ganon and Mother Brain.
Vanilla Big Key in Turtle Rock is a little bit gross, but not the worst thing ever. It would be nice if you could just steal the key and go on back. But oh well.
Now, what would be really interesting is if you had an entrance rando that would randomize those portals as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you're going into Eastern Palace, but you end up in Lower Norfair. Kind of like a portal rando for Echoes. You think you're going. You think you're going into Dark Aether or Dark Aegon, but you end up next to, I don't know, the Forgotten Bridge.
I gotta give Room Rando a shot one of these days. Unfortunately, it's such an old version that there's no logical placement of items.
Just wait a while. They're working on it.
Yeah. I want it now!
I mean, you gotta be patient! You gotta be patient. So you do not have to get all of the crystals to beat Mother Brain, nor do you have to beat all of the bosses in Super Metroid to defeat Ganon. But you do have to be able to. You have to do all of them. It does not matter what order you do them in. If you beat Super Metroid first, you do not have to worry about the timer on the escape sequence. If you beat Super Metroid second, you do. So most runners choose to finish Link to the Past first, and then go finish Super Metroid. But it all depends on their runner's preference and the items they've been giving and everything. But it all, every seed's different. Rando's gonna rando.
So one important change that they made early on in testing was that you can no longer find progression for Super Metroid in Ganon's Tower because there were seeds where Morphball was there. So they decided that, you know what, we don't want to make you play the entirety of one game in order to beat the other. So yeah. Now you can just, well, as soon as you find Morphball, you could do just about all of Super Metroid now. Although it can still potentially put Morphball on Trinex. But that's about the furthest in Link to the Past that it can be.
I hear an ice rod, I hear hammer strikes on the Friar Head.
And he's got one down.
I was going to say, this is arguably 2 of the best games on the Super Nintendo, and they smashed them together because through some magic and some clever programming knowledge, the Link to the Past and Super Metroid games take up different spots of the Super Nintendo's memory. So that is what allows these games to be smashed together in such a fantastic way.
It's really lucky that they worked out that way as well. It just so happened to take up different addresses.
Yeah, that's just pure. That's pure luck. There's no way they'd intended that. You know.
It would have just taken longer to get a combo randomizer happening.
Oh yeah, it still would have happened for sure. When you have enough dedicated people trying to do something like this, it's gonna happen. And here goes a charged Ice Wave Plasma Golden Chorizo fight, and poof, there he goes.
Devs React would be cool in theory. Unfortunately, when it comes to like major companies like Nintendo and such, Devs React is usually DMCA.
Lawsuits.
Yeah.
They don't like us messing with their stuff. Although at this point they should realize it's gonna happen. I mean, Nintendo has seen how many of their games randomized, and that's just a few that I know about. I mean, you've got Super Mario RPG, you've got Link to the Past, Zelda 1, Metroid 1, Super Metroid, Zelda 3,
Final Fantasy 1,
Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4, 6, 7,
Chrono
Super Mario
Trigger.
Brothers 3. I mean, there's so many. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. I mean, there's a randomizer for Breath of the Wild. Like,
Well, that
why
one's
you
kind of
randomize
more
for that?
in. It's more of a like paper and pencil kind of randomizer. Like, I don't think it's playable necessarily.
I mean, that game's hard enough as it is. Why do you need to randomize it?
But Wind Waker is full-fledged randomizer. Yeah.
I would like to play that.
It's out there.
Not to mention all of the ROM hacks that we have for Super Metroid itself. There's at least a dozen, if not more.
There have been ROM hacks being pumped out since mid-2000s for sure. There are also a few ROM hacks for Zero Mission and Fusion as well.
Like AM2R.
Well, AM2R is a different kind of thing, but like actual using the Fusion engine and stuff. People have made ROM hacks.
And we just missed it, but there was an icebreaker done on Bressingham's side.
Yeah, very nice way to route ice palace now. Makes it very
Especially if you
linear.
have the hammer.
And I believe he's looking for a big key here. I don't remember if did he flip the switch, the crystal switch. If he didn't, then he's gonna need a big key.
I don't remember.
Maybe he did. Okay. Okay. Yeah, then he just needs to fall down here.
I don't think he would have made that kind of mistake at this point. He knows that he's got a significant advantage, and he's going to be pushing it.
Well, he probably doesn't know. He did full clear a lot of stuff before getting to Hobo to find his gravity suit in order to find his second glove. It's hard to tell because the players are not allowed to view their opponents or the restream to gather more information.
Oh no!
He's definitely not feeling ahead at this point.
Oh no! That sucks! Oh man! To have to go down that whole frozen wasteland again, just awful. And at this point,
Not
you're thinking,
as
I
bad
swear to
anymore.
God, if my opponent duns 30 seconds before I do, I'm going to be so mad. That is the second worst place to realize you're out of magic. The first worst place would be at the top of Ganon's Tower. I've been there, done that.
Especially without, well, I guess most of the time you'll have the lamp, but sometimes you won't.
I didn't even have enough for the lamp, so I was
Jeez.
forced to leave. I was not a happy camper. I almost alt forward. I was really close.
Yeah, it sucks when you miss the timing on the torches, or you get knocked down too many times and you have to relight the torches and you just run out.
Or you just think you have a bottle and you don't bother to check, and you don't because you used it somewhere else. Don't you have no memory of using it? Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I think Ridley should be dead there. Yeah. Ridley down for Junie.
It was a very good fight from Junie.
There are 2 small magic refills in that first torch room, but yeah, if you're just burning through with fire rod, then not that much use out of them.
I fell too many times because I was trying to race through it, trying to get through fast, and I just failed. And then I realized you can't reload the room and reload the magic. It doesn't work that way. You have to reload the whole stinking tower.
Yup.
Consequently, if Bressingham had had Bombos, he would have not have been had to gone through this whole mess again, because Bombos conveniently works on the cold stair ice block. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why, because sometimes Fire Rod can be on cold stair, which is totally fun.
Yeah, they designed A Link to the Past so that the Bombos would be used for the Ice Palace. Ether would be used for getting into Mire, and then Quake would be used for getting into Turtle Rock. That's hinted at in the telepathic tiles within Ice Palace.
I honestly had no idea that it was. I thought that was a rando thing. I did not know that was a vanilla thing.
Yep.
And by the time I get here in the vanilla runs, anyway, I already have tempered with half magic, so I'm good. Because I do this after I do Mire, because, yeah, I want my tempered sword. That doesn't make sense. Why do I do this after Mire again? Oh, because I liked having the, before I knew the Ice Palace bomb jump and all that stuff, I liked having Kane. Because that made life a lot easier.
That was the original strat before they had the Ice Palace bomb jump.
So now Icebreaker is even more make Kane even more useful.
In Randomizer, at least. Unfortunately, they banned Icebreaker for no major glitches speedruns, as well as the whatchamacallit, Diver Down.
I love seeing the new tech come out it seems like every couple of months there's something new. Like just, this time last year watching these races, there was no Harapot. And now all of a sudden there's a Harapot. And that's awesome. And I remember first seeing Mimic Clip come out, that was cool. And seeing all these different things, it's just so awesome.
Okay, Junie is on his way out of Morfair. We really need him to go to Green Brinstar. He is taking the elevator, it looks like. So he has his Ether coin. He has everything he needs except the flippers for his mitts in Swamp.
And that is a terrible play, because he's not going to want to go there immediately. But he's gonna have no choice.
I don't know. I think that's all he has left of the flippers unlocks, at least.
You're probably right, actually. Now that I think about it.
I don't know if he has other checks available, but once he gets flippers, there are another 6 items in Swamp for him. This is real good seeing him in Green Brinstar. This is... Man, this is exactly how my second race of my second match of the tournament went. Pretty much.
Oh, this is gonna be bad. Junie's gonna see it and he's gonna power bomb the whole room. He's gonna want to blow up Brinstar at this point.
I made one mistake and accidentally fell down in that, like, before the animals, so I didn't get those 2 checks. Like, I saw the book, so I was like, wait, don't I have the book? I kept checking, like, throughout my Link to the Past adventures, just seeing if there was still a gap right there. And there's flippers for Junie.
There is the reaction. He's like, no!
I did just about the same thing when I refound the book in, like, in front of animals.
Oh, and Bressingham's doing the spooky action glitch. I love this glitch. I have no idea how it works, but it's awesome.
Yeah, so altitude variables is a thing you can manipulate, apparently, because Super Nintendo. And yeah, you can store the value of the height of the duck from when you flew it over to Meyer. And as long as you don't overwrite that value, you can reuse it when firing the fire rod. And whenever it makes contact with something, it'll hit like 1,000 miles above. And it doesn't actually have a depth, like, axis. It doesn't have a z-axis, so it just uses the altitude variable instead and says, well, your fire rod shot is actually this high, so whatever is that high in the screen is what it hits. And it just so happens that the crystal switch is that high.
That's convenient.
You do have to walk underneath the rock before you lift it, otherwise the duck doesn't fly quite high enough.
Eyeball's getting arrowed. And now the eyeball's dead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 7th crystal. So you know what time it is now.
Oh boy, it's time to get some numbers.
There are 22 locations that the big key can be in Ganon's Tower. If you put your guess between 1 and 22 in chat, the person who comes the closest gets their name called out and will forever live in infamy on this one channel for about the next half hour. What number do you usually go with, Jagger?
I like 8. 8's a pretty good number.
I always go 19. I've won once going 19 every time. So, yeah, it is what it is. And Junie's heading into Swamp.
Yeah, that's good news for him. Unfortunately, a bit too late. Checking Hookshot Cave. Yeah, that makes sense. He does want a sword. Whoop. Sorry, I'm a bit ahead there.
So Silverless Master Sword Ganon is gonna be on Blue Mail. I mean, it's Bressingham, so I know he's capable of doing it. It's not a pretty fight. It sucks.
So
He's-
Bressingham is checking Hookshot Cave. This is interesting. I
He's
guess
looking
he wants to
for
look
a sword
Yeah, it makes
or
sense.
silvers. He's looking for both. Anything to make this tower climb easier. Because he's well equipped. He's got Blue Mail. He's got 14 hearts. He's a little weak on the offense side. Oh, stupid Bari. Why you gotta be floating there? Oh, come back just for those? That's depressing. Our first glove was in Mission Impossible. The second one was on the left side swamp.
Mission
no.
Impossible had flippers
Where were the gloves? Oh, in the left side sandpit.
in Meridia, yes. And Gravity was on Hobo.
I was listening to our tracker, and he got me in trouble. Left side swamp and left side sandpit. No, it's both LSS.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the last time I trust you. Speaking of that, we should actually call out our tracker, who's been doing a good job keeping us honest. Zerubian. Yeah, that's the way he told me to pronounce it. I'm kind of stupid, so sometimes I forget how to do that kind of stuff. He's going full right. I'm actually kind of impressed by this decision.
I like this route. It's a unique route.
His timing's going to be tight with all the stops he's had here.
He's probably feeling behind with his cold stir mishap.
He was so close to getting that.
He's got boots. He's got to use them. It's doable without boots. A little tight, though.
He's about an inch away from getting through that door when it slammed in his face.
And that's Junie's. I mean, we know it's Gomon for him. He doesn't quite. But he's about to check the requirements and just clear Mire and then...
Ooh, there's a good time for half magic. To answer a question in chat, the microwave beam is a combination of plasma, X-ray, and charge beam, and is useful on enemies that are not immune to the piercing effects of plasma. So, Botswoon, Fantoon, Dragon, and to a lesser extent, oh, there's a sword on the torch. That's beautiful. To a lesser extent, Crocomire. And basically, what you do is you fire off a charged plasma shot, and you pause buffer with the X-ray, which causes them to take damage, but also causes them to their invincibility frames to wear off while the beam is still on them. So it continuously triggers the plasma beam's damage while it's traveling through them. So you can literally just liquefy enemies with that. It's beautiful. I hope that was... Then there's our key. I don't no idea what number that is. 7, 8, 9. That was number 9. So Chadrain, number 9.
Was it 9?
No, because it was 2 on the right, 2 in Hope, 4 in Compass,
right.
6, and then 7 was the Torch, and then 8 and 9 was that one. Yeah, so was it 9 or 10?
Well, it's 6 on the right side, Torch is 7, and then it was the third chest in the stealth.
So it was number 10. Sorry, number 10.
Okay. Split the difference.
And the closest, without going over, is still gonna be. It's still gonna be Chad Rain, with
work.
teal beams right behind him on number 11. Way to go, Chad Rain! You win an endless supply of Link to the Past Super Metroid Combo Randomizer seeds. You can go to samus.link to play them whenever you want.
Although, 7 Evid did guess 2, which is 1-0 in binary. Which doesn't count for anything, but you could pretend it does.
That's clever.
Nailed it. It's kind of the opposite of how a binary works, but close enough.
I mean, whatever at this point. You go. You do you, man. You do you.
And Junie having that potion, not burning it up when he was in Spike Cave. This is very fortunate.
And having Tempered Sword makes this fight significantly easier because you just bash the eyeballs into death. I mean, it's so much faster. But Junie's gonna need Bressingham to fall a number of times on Ganon, and with now the Tempered Sword, it's not gonna happen. I don't think there's, aside from a catastrophic failure on Bressingham's part, Junie's not gonna make it through this one. Unfortunately, last location in your midst there, is not cool.
Nice. So Junie is just clearing out all his dungeons, just assuming that Ether should be probably enough. He knew Ether was for this one, I believe, because he went through Lower Norfair, but he's not entirely sure on Turtle Rock. It's a 2 in 3 chance. Luckily for him, it is also Ether.
Those are odds I'd be willing to play. 33% chance, not so much. 66, absolutely. We're not going to see any hover strats today. We're just going to kill the Troll Dorm. If we're not going to get bullied off the platform by him. Are we going to see the final possession of Troll Dorm? We are, and it's power bombs. Yay!
It would have been nice if it was charged. Unfortunately, we already saw charge in the... But he did not.
And he will be alright. I think we have plenty of ammunition. Plus he has Ice Beam, so he can do his Zeb Skip. Geometry Wars. The first shot was nothing. So was the second one. That's rough. Ganon. Aghanim's being kind of a jerk here.
I'm pretty good at the batting cage minigame in the Oracle of Ages, I believe it is. But in Aghanim, not so much.
And down goes Aga 2.
Almost medallion. And Meyer.
Well, there it is. Now he's definitely in go mode. And he knows it.
big key was in the middle chest?
I have no idea where the big key was.
We can hear on Voigt's side.
He's already past phase 1. And now he's past phase 2. Well, maybe not. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, had to freeze on a pause screen, too.
It gives us a nice menu check. Oh yeah, it was in the middle. That's why he doesn't have bombos. I was wondering about that.
Okay, we got one more stomp, and then the fires are going to go out. Did you find your silver arrows in the dark world? Or does it say this? Does it say Thieves Town?
I think so. I forget how specific it is. I think it might be more specific. I think it might say on blind. I'm not sure.
That's 2 hits.
We'll say
It's
Thieves Town.
3.
Okay.
There's 4. There's 5. Willing to buy health bar. Oh, and down he goes. I was
Nice.
way off.
But is he?
Get your
gonna
single
be
G's
on
in
the
chat for the big pig being down.
G for Bressingham.
And blinking you miss it on Junie's side. The silver arrows just obliterated the eyeball. $60 super is 100 missiles. Yeah, we're fine. We don't need charge beam. We're good.
Yeah, that is sufficient.
That's sufficient without a Zeb skip.
Barely, I think, because you do need to damage Mother Brain 1 down as well. How many missiles does the Zebtide take in this?
I have no idea. I shoot them till they die. And 10 to 12, maybe. It takes, I think, 5 supers. Maybe 4? I don't know. So 4 supers, so it would be 12 missiles. Yeah.
Maybe.
Or is it 5 missiles per super?
It's 3.
That's 3. And now we're in Turian, which sounds like a really active GI track.
Yeah.
Just lots of bubbling and farting and just overall misery.
Making pretty quick work of these Metroids.
That ice beam really makes Turian infinitely faster.
Fun fact, if you're low on super missiles, you want a few more, you could opt to only kill 2 of these Metroids and then reload the room to get them to respawn. But
I
it's
don't
kinda
like
slow.
fighting Metroids, so I tend to not want to reload them.
It's kind of only really something you bother doing in the low percent, which is something you don't bother doing in the first place.
Exactly.
And does
And-
just immediately take the baby to the face.
Yep. Not even gonna try for the skip, and he is facing right,
Nice.
which saves him like 22 frames standing up.
It's a pretty long stand-up animation, so it's nice to get to skip that. I always try to hit right last second, and then I'm just barely short. And he's opting to turn off his screw attack while refilling his energy. Gets the energy recharge remotely.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, apparently when you pause, the game forgets you're locked into place and just lets you leave. Although you have to be careful not to go too fast, because you just don't refill at all if you leave the room first. So if you're gonna have to menu, it's good to menu there. And he gets first try Zeb skip, very nice.
I still haven't figured out how to do that Zebedee skip. I really want to learn it, but I haven't figured it out yet.
It's kind of awkward to do. It's much easier without screw attack, because screw attack cancels your invincibility frames. So you want to turn off screw attack. You want to freeze the Rinka before it starts moving, the lower Rinka, of course. And you want to take damage and then spin jump onto the Rinka, which is a little tricky to do, but with some practice you could figure it out. And then you just jump and you're inside the Zebtite and you can walk left.
I'll have to practice it more often. Mother Brain's giving us a heaping helping of chicken nuggets and onion rings and french fries and rainbow sherbet for dessert. You know, I forgot the ketchup beam. There's the ketchup.
I like how you get all your french fries and then you get ketchup.
Yeah, Mother Brain doesn't really care what you want.
He is going for the Zeb skip, damaging himself down to just under 800 health. He's going to stand up right away here.
Would be no reason to do the charge beam skip here.
Very nice. Yeah, that's true. There is no reason for this.
He doesn't have charge beam, so this is just gonna be for kicks for practice.
I guess so. So it gets Mother Brain down. He only had 45 super missiles going into the fight, so that meant he needed another 45 regular missiles, but he had 100, so it was perfectly fine.
Oh, the baby's gonna die! Not the baby!
No. Getting into position to reduce lag by shooting Mother Brain point blank.
Ain't nothing like firing point blank lasers into your enemy's head after she's killed one of your best friends. Enjoy this rainbow sherbet. And now the fight is over.
That baby
Now we
was
have
like a
3
daughter
minutes.
to me.
We have 3 minutes to escape this exploding planet for whatever reason. Most of the planets Samus visits, they just blow up on her way out.
Although it was also sort of a sister to me. Oh, no. I don't know, maybe it's more of a niece or a cousin, second cousin or something.
Perhaps, perhaps. Hey, the baby saved your life. You gotta respect that. She didn't have to. Besides, everybody always has that one parasitic friend who likes to come over and steal your food.
And suck on your brain, yeah.
I don't think they feed on the brain. I don't know what.
Oh.
It's not really determined what they feed on, other than bioenergy, which is who knows.
Maybe they feed on
kill
personality.
You. Maybe
that
I don't
explains.
know. That explains why the pirates are so angry.
I was gonna say other M, but
I hear a lot of bad things about that game. I haven't played it. It can't be that bad.
it's kind of okay, I guess.
Will he save the animals? No, probably not. Yeah, I didn't think so.
But the cannon.
Speedrunners don't care about cannon. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in chat for Bressingham, who finishes in first place tonight with an SRL time of something that I can't see.
It's 3:05:49. GG's. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview.
I sure hope so. I really want to ask him about his cold stare fight.
Or his spike cave. That's a good one too.
Or the stone walls, yeah.
I think that was more of a problem for jooniejoone. Meanwhile, Junie is finishing off strong, going through his Ganon's tower.
And we are
welcome,
joined
Bressingham.
by Bressingham. GG's Bressing.
Hi, thank you.
So I have two questions. One,
Okay.
How about Spike Cave without gloves?
That was checking, make sure that I couldn't do it, I guess.
Don't feel
I
bad.
totally forgot.
Don't feel bad. Junie did it too.
That's a really easy one to forget.
It absolutely is.
And my second question for you
Moon Pearl, that's enough.
is how bad did it feel to run out of magic fighting Cold Stare?
That was really dumb. The reason that I went in was because I thought I had a blue potion. I knew I didn't have enough. And then whenever I did it again, I realized the only reason I ran out at all was because I wasted a shot on the very first freeze ore. It was pretty dumb. I really should have just actually checked my potions. I don't know why I was so convinced I had one.
Because you bought one and then you used it in Spike Cave.
That's where I used it. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were like, why can't I lift this rock? Oh crap, I'm gonna die. Let me drink this potion. Oh crap, I can't lift the rock because I don't have gloves. There was, I think, we totaled 8 stone walls, which is what we called it when you guys walked up to rocks and couldn't lift them tonight.
Yeah, Junie did a lot of those. Basically, every rock that you could possibly want to lift, he tried to lift it without gloves. Including that Spike Cave rock as well.
Yes, including
So
the
you're not
Spike
alone
Cave
there.
Rock.
Unfortunately, the big thing that cost him was unfortunately, he ran out of supers in the Mission Impossible room and didn't get his flippers.
Oh no.
He did wind up fake flippering for Gravity Suit, so he found his first glove in Meridia. But that just gave him a lot of things to check before he
Yeah.
had access to Swamp Palace.
So I felt behind when I found Gravity because Hobo is, first of all, you can get it 10 minutes in, always. And I also like screwed up routing it because I walked past it several times. I don't know. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is probably gonna lead me to go mode. But that made me think that maybe Junie's first glove would have been in the sand pit. I don't know.
It was,
It
but
was, yep.
he did not have. It was because he didn't have his flippers until
Oh, yeah,
half an
yeah.
hour ago, maybe.
That makes sense.
That was basically his pseudo go mode. He knew it. As soon as he saw flippers there, it was like, man, if only I had that super missile when I needed it.
Yeah, you could see. Just the way you runners react to an item when you see it in game after you've been looking for it for an hour. You're like, we can feel your
Yeah.
anxiety. Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So, how about that glove though? That first glove you found was not in the nicest of places.
It was. Yeah. It was really strange because I was like, okay, I'm gonna dip swamp because I want the glove to be in here. This is like the most amount of spots, and it was in there. And then it opened up like 3 or 4 checks, and that was it.
Yeah.
It made Dark World easier to navigate, but it didn't really give me that many spots. But then I found Gravity. That was good.
It was
Control Dorm
interesting.
strikes for the first time tonight.
Ooh. Unfortunate fall. So you had you got the glove out of swamp, and then Junie got the gravity before you did. So I was, we were kind of hoping it would be closer than it was, because like he would have access to Meridia, he would have access to that other glove, and who knows where he could have found like a medallion that could be required. And lucky for you, it was just right there in Franker Z room.
Yeah.
Very much
Good
lucky that
boy
it
today.
wasn't Bombos because you walked right past it in Misery Mire.
Oh, I did.
You would have probably found it if you weren't in go mode. It was
True.
It was in the behind the torches, the
Cutscene.
upper torches.
No, the one before cutscene.
Oh, it's pretty fast. That's actually the only reason I went to TR before Ice and Mire was to see what the medallion was, because I thought go moding Mire and Ice is probably faster than
Go moding TR.
shaving off. No, just shaving.
Double dip.
Mountain Trip. Gonna be go mode either way, because it would be either my medallion confirmation or my last dungeon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on our way to fight Ganon again. He's got butter, he's got silvers. This is gonna be cake.
So this does mean you make it into brackets. How are you feeling about that?
I am happy.
Yeah, happy is good.
Yeah, after the loss to Dante a couple days ago, which was pretty rough. I made a lot of mistakes, and then lost by a minute.
Yeah, you were both knocked out by Dante in the first game. He's a strong player.
Yep.
So, what was your favorite and least favorite thing about this seed?
I guess my favorite thing was the Morphless Upper Morphair, because that's the third tournament seed in a row. All three of my tournament seeds so far have had variant Space Jump and then something in Bubble Mountain.
Nice.
That's always fun. And my least favorite thing was the glove, I guess. It's kind of annoying. It was cool, though, when I found it. I was like, okay, good.
Let's get our single G's in chat for Junie. He just took down the big pig.
Sweet. I don't know if we have any more questions, but you're welcome to stick around if you want, or if you have stuff to do, we understand.
You can give us any thoughts you have or anything you want to talk about.
No, not really. GG's, thanks for the restream. Appreciate
Thank
you guys
for
a lot.
running.
I'll be lurking in chat.
We wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this matchup.
Sweet.
Definitely a lot of close like walk-in side by side throughout the first half, I'd say. The first hour at least.
That's good. I'd love to watch this back. All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And Junie's on his way now to Torian. He's gonna make good use of that charge beam. So he had, oh yeah, he had butter sword, silver arrows,
Yeah,
charge beam.
Ganon was easy. This is, I mean, he's got everything. He's got everything he could possibly want.
Yeah, so charge beam was on the beach, which is gonna make Mother Brain considerably less of a concern. He didn't even bother refilling at the ship.
Charged Ice Wave Plasma does 900 damage to Mother Brain, whereas supers only do 300.
Right. You can fire supers 3 times as fast, so they're basically the same.
But Charged Wave Plasma does not run out.
Correct. It's
Which is one of the
theoretically faster to use the beams just because you have less human error between shots, because you're not gonna fire at like frame perfectly after every super missile. You're gonna lose some frames between shots, and you just have fewer shots to do with the charge beam.
having all the beams active at once kind of is one of the things I miss about Super Metroid when I'm playing Prime. Like, I have to switch to Plasma, then I have to switch back to Ice, and then back to Plasma, then to Wave, then to Plasma, then to Wave. It's so annoying! My beams don't go through walls! What? Come on, man!
Mm-hmm. So both of them making use of the fact that Screw Attack removes damage and vulnerability, so they just very, very quickly damage themselves down before the Metroid grab on that side hopper.
It's definitely a good way of going about it.
And also taking the health recharge, not disabling his Screw Attack. I guess he doesn't really need to when he has so much ammo and charge.
I think it's still faster to do a Zeb skip, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you get it on the first try, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he is still going.
Wow,
Interesting.
that was easy.
You got a pretty high knockback there. I wonder if there are different inputs for that or what. But
No idea.
You gotta learn later.
Mother Brain 1 goes down with expediency. Oh, he's doing some moonwalk. I have no idea how many charged plasma shots it takes, but it's like
20.
probably around.
Well,
it's only
ice wave
20?
plasma is 20.
Really? Wow, I thought I was gonna say about 30, but dang, 20 is nice.
Yep, and 60 super missiles or 20 charged ice wave shots. But it does take a full second to charge the beam in the first place. And also getting the stand-up glitch. This is going to be a lot more effective for Junie.
Yes.
It may have saved some frames for Bressingham just being able to get into position to fire hyper beams at point blank range, but this is going to save.
I know it
numerous
has
seconds.
something to do with being airborne when they. I'm sorry if you guys hear that. My kid just hurt himself. So I think it has something to do with being airborne when the baby Metroid shows up. And then again when the baby Metroid latches on. I don't know how it works. I really don't.
Right there, just saw it. You can kind of see Samus's pose change when it checks for whether or not you're on the ground.
Gotcha. So it's basically right before the baby falls off screen.
Yeah. And it just needs to consume enough onion rings to get full and then take a baby nap. And in the meantime, you could shoot as many charge shots into the mother brain as you want.
We're not going to need very many rainbow beams. It's probably going to be 2 or 3, maybe? Maybe none?
Maybe 4. Just 2.
Maybe
Okay.
2.
That's really good.
That's a really good charge beam kill there. That's very close. And now we have the final escape. It's the final countdown. I was going to sing it, but I was told not to sing on stream anymore, so I won't.
We'll all miss it, so.
I'm sure everybody's broken up about it.
Unfortunately, not getting the spring ball strat, the speed spring ball through. The blue bomber, as it's called.
The blue bomber. I've never seen that before.
It's glorious. It's really hard to pull off, though.
There's a lot of things in this game that are very hard to pull off. Wall jumping.
Yeah, wall jumping is the hardest trick in Super Metroid. Citation needs. Now, will Fusion be canon today?
I'm going to go with probably not.
Oh, he mockballed a little too high. You're supposed to mockball on the platform below that, Junie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in chat for jooniejoone, who finishes in second place at a time of around 3:22:47.
Takes them a bit to dot done in SRL 3:22:55.
Yeah, at this point, it's just for personal accomplishment, I guess. I don't know. It was a hard-fought fight. And Junie's joining us in Twitch chat. He couldn't find the SRL window. Yeah, I guess that would be a reason why it would cause a delay. You're like, wait, where is it? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? No! This is costing me seconds! Did we send an invite to Junie? Are you going to join us, or are you just going to hang out with us in chat?
I don't know if we sent it yet.
The done button's been clicked,
sent.
but it's not The tracker programs are being hold on. The tracker program, not the tracker person. The tracker program's being problematic.
We'll get him in here in just a moment. Okay, you did get the invite.
Outstanding. And we are joined by jooniejoone. GG's to
Hello.
you, Junie.
Oh, thank you. This is an exciting one. It was probably fun to watch.
It was.
Yep.
It was incredibly fun to watch you walk up to rocks and not be able to lift them.
Yeah, I hope nobody was playing any drinking games with that one. You know, every time I try to lift a rock, take a shot or something. That'd be a bad night.
I think total, counting both you and Bressingham, we had 8 stone walls as we called them.
That's fantastic.
So how does it feel to know that not having super missiles in Mission Impossible is what really hurts?
Boy, you know, that's my game. Super Metroid is my game. I'm not supposed to do that. No, I guess I just went into autopilot through there. I left intending to farm some supers, go through the rest of Pink, maybe find a super pack to go back, and then I just kind of glided into autopilot and completely forgot to go back. How did you like the part where I went all the way back to Waterway and then still didn't go back to get those flippers?
We were both like, I really hope he goes up, and then you go right. We're like, he's right there.
No, it was during the escape of Lower Norfair that I finally realized that I never went in there, because I was just trying to rack my brain. And I picked up that gravity suit at Hobo, and I was like, well, okay, so I got this out of logic. So I didn't want to put a whole lot of worth into Meridia, but I didn't know what else to do. And I went to Lower Norfair the whole time thinking, where in the world are these flippers? Because all of this is out of logic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun.
As a bonus, doing all that got you silvers and butter swords, so your Ganon fight was really easy.
And charge beam. Bressingham didn't actually find any of those.
Yeah,
he did tempered sword Ganon, but silverless and no charge beam.
Fun, good times. Yeah, I don't even remember where I found that stuff, but
The beach had charge beam. Tempered sword was in watering hole, and blind had the silver arrows.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Now, how is it that I collected fewer items than Bress?
Whoa.
Did you like save and reset or something?
Maybe. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't count how many items you guys get.
No, this was not a good seed for me in general. Just with the the low health Aga fight in the beginning, and
The Aga fight was definitely.
Yeah, and sorry, my cat is banging against the microphone right now. And I'm kind of stupid about Link to the Past logic. So not having those gloves for so long was really, really confusing for me. I had no idea where to go or what to do. And then, put on top of that the fact that I left those flippers. And so, I had even less things to check. I would have gone to Swamp immediately if I had those flippers once I found the rest of the pieces. But yeah, this is a rough one for me.
Don't worry, you weren't the only one confused by those gloves. I was almost an hour and a half in. We finally find our first pair of gloves. It's like, what? Why are they hidden there? That's such a terrible place for them.
Yeah.
Voigt took a long time to find the gravity suit as well, because he had combined the catfish and Zora checks. So he just I guess he just thought he just autopiloted past the hobo for a long time as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Bress, because Bress is an amazing player, and the 3-hour mark came by, and I was like, I would have expected him to be done by now, but
He just kept walking past that, and he had to take a small detour away from Cold Stare to go get more magic to come back and fall down Ice Palace all over again to go back to Cold Stare.
oh
So
no, ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'll have to
Although-
watch this one back. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, lucky for him, he did buy a blue potion before even entering the castle. That was real early on. Unfortunately, he used his blue potion when he went into Spike Cave without gloves, and he was like,
Oh,
I can't seem to lift this. Maybe I need more magic.
we both did that, huh?
Yep.
oh yes, both did it.
That's
It was
fantastic.
amusing to see how many times you guys would go up to it because you guys would walk up and you press the lift button and you're like, okay, it's gonna take a second to lift up, and then you're like, why hasn't it lifted up yet? You try
Yeah.
again, you're like, what's going on here? Oh wait, crap, I don't have gloves.
Yeah, the worst
that's
part
weird.
is he thought he had blue potion when he went to Cold Stare, so he didn't bother farming like up to full.
Oh,
that's
because
why
he used
he-
it as Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Oh man, ouch.
Yes,
Mhm.
the Bressingham, I would agree. You take after being an hour in, you forget that you don't have them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is gonna be super fun to watch back. Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
second
well-
trip up to Aga Tower was about the same time he was just entering Aga Tower as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did we route differently in the beginning?
He did do Eastern Palace. I think you
Oh,
skipped
okay.
that, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he got his blue potion and went to Castle, did the lower escape. Did he do Aga Tower right after that? I think he did.
Yeah, I
And
did.
Meanwhile, you were already climbing it and took an unfortunate fall.
Yeah. Yeah, did you like how my first time through I died and then I took the time to buy a potion, waste the money, and then go back in and basically just crush it?
Absolutely. That's how
That's
it
the
works.
way it is, man.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
But then you had a potion for the whole game. So
I did. And then I
And
ended
when
up
you needed it, you had it. So there you go.
right. Yeah, that is true. No, well, let's see. I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have any other questions about it?
I have one question that I always ask every runner. What was your favorite and least favorite thing about the seed?
Oh boy. Well, least favorite thing was no gloves for sure. I think that's even I like that even less than my stupidity of not getting the flippers. Favorite thing about the seed, boy, I mean, it's not that I didn't have a favorite. Let me think for a second. I mean, the whole thing, not having gloves just consumed me. So,
Yeah.
oh, that
I
early flip
basically
was really
have the same.
nice. I really liked having that
Oh
flip
yeah,
for like the entire game.
in the well.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
one of the best places to find it.
yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm kicked out of the tourney now, which is fine. Bressingham definitely deserves to be in the brackets way more than I do. So I'm glad that he made it. GG Bress. I will definitely do this again in the future because it's super fun.
Cool. We were saying it could go either way. We were excited for this matchup,
Well, sweet. Yeah, I mean,
and a lot of times you guys were like shoulder to shoulder going through areas like your first trip
Interesting.
through Norfair when you had early Varia and Space Jump. You
mhm.
basically got more Moon Pearl real close together.
You guys were going through Speed Booster basically at the same time.
Oh wow. Yeah, this will be fun to watch back.
Mhm.
Well, thanks so much for commentary. I'll step out so you guys can wrap things up, and yeah, have a good one.
Cool. You too.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Well, with that being said, to this race tonight, I don't know if the other two are still going. I haven't been able to look because I'm busy here. If they are, we can probably go check those out. If not, there will be more tomorrow. I think there's 2 more tomorrow. 3 more tomorrow. Let me take a look real quick. Tomorrow we have a race at 11:10 a.m. Eastern between Iris Isotheus and Stachio Cat. And then at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, we have a race between In the Name of DT and Relkin. And then at 10:10 p.m., we have a race between N Diaz versus Hypes Nova 1. That one does not have a restream yet, but we may get one at that point at 10:10 p.m. Nobody's online at 10 p.m. tonight. Come on now. And then we have two more races on Sunday. Break Jake versus 64-Bit Link and Sinus versus Hootie. One at 2:20 p.m. and one at 8:10 p.m. Other than that, for now, that's the last of the schedule that I can see for now. There will be more. There's always more. It's always fun.
Yeah, and as for tonight, we got a couple of Final Fantasy 1 randomizers going on. And I think that about does it for the night. On SpeedGaming 1 and SpeedGaming 2. There's two of them going on.
Outstanding. Well, thank you, chat, for being here. We're going to give a shout out to the runners and a shout out to our tracker.
Yeah, thank you, Zeruvian.
Zeruvian. Again, we're just going to call you Zaru from now on, like Zazu from Planet the Lion King. Zaru. Thanks for being here, keeping us honest. And Jagger, it was a pleasure. First time doing commentary with you, but I'm really glad that I did it because this was fun.
Yeah. I hope to see you more in SMZ3 as well, as also Echo's Randomizer is going on too.
Yes, I am
Plenty
lot
of opportunity to cross path again.
And with that, Twitch chat, I will see you next mission.
Bye.